Hello! Oh, sorry, I forgot to adjust my mic volume. Last time we were talking, I was very quiet. Whoopsie! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to destroy your eardrums. Let's get the background music going. Hi! Am I too close? Do you guys think I'm too close? Should I back up a little bit? I'm pretty close. I'm very close today. How are you? Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Let me get this audio corrected. I literally forgot the last time we spoke. I was like half whispering. Let's turn off the extra gain. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Last time we talked, I was talking this quiet, so I had to turn the mic gain all the way up. And I forgot to turn it back down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to destroy your eardrums. Here, let's zoom out a little bit so you can see more than just my strappy straps on my dress. It's an awkward little spot. But hello everybody! How are you? It's a beautiful day. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey puppies, I think I wanna talk with you. That was in my head all day. I've been thinking about that. I think I wanna talk to you. You know? And me and Coach Haru went on a long road trip yesterday to go watch some bands, some marching bands, the professional marching bands perform, because they travel the states performing, and we watch every year. And there's a lot of silly stuff in there. But on the way there, in that long road, to the hours and hours long road trip, we listened to old 2000s and 2010s popular songs. So if they're stuck in my head, they're gonna be stuck in your head too, okay? But I'm gonna say hi to everyone that's here, yeah? Hi Wave, hi Ginger Roll, hi Grim, and hi Bridget from YouTube and from Twitch. Hi Nightfall, hi Maxim, hi Panda, hi Cries of Past, hi Robin, hi Pineapple, hi Grey Fox, hi Mindy, hi Road, hi Pop Trash, hi Yuki, hi. Let's keep going. Oh, hi Soda. Hi Lucas, Grim. Are you the same Grim as YouTube? Are you the same Grim? Are y'all both? Is that YouTube and Twitch Grim? And hi C2B. Hello. Yes, same me. Okay, we have double Grim, double trouble. We have 2 Grims. The more Grims, the merrier, you know. The more people, the happier the Cyan, huh? Yeah. But why does it seem like when you were driving, being in the car is an unskippable cutscene? Dude, I don't drive. I have the Kotaru. I don't drive. I'm a passenger princess. Like, I'm a full-time passenger princess. I drive when I have to. Like, if I'm needed for anything, that's when I drive. I don't really drive for optional side quests. I don't drive for entertainment. I simply drive when there is a need and a need needs to be met. Like, I need to buy food, or I need to go to the store, or I need to go to work, or Kotaru's car's broken, so I need to drive him somewhere. That's when I step up to the plate. But I have anxiety. I have driving anxiety, and driving anxiety is scary. So I don't drive. I don't drive unless I have to. Did I mention you're very cute? Oh, thanks. You're a cutie pie. You're a cutie patootie pie. I'm sad. I just show up without subscription. I just want to see how well the algorithm actually recommends you to someone who hasn't subscribed to you yet. Has it been doing a good job? Has YouTube been doing a good job recommending my videos? My videos? I forgot to post my stream schedule to YouTube. I actually have a stream schedule for once, guys. Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me? I like never have a schedule. I be scheduling streams in my mind and not telling nobody. Well, that's mostly because, like, I know it's like tradition for like VTubers to like schedule everything out a week in advance, but like that's really hard to do. Like, there's a lot of spontaneous things that can happen that makes me not want to schedule a week in advance, you know? Welcome to the puppy parade rage. The only time I schedule a week in advance is literally if like nothing's going on. Like I know for a fact nothing's going on that next week. Like I know we're not going to no stores. Kotaro ain't got nothing going. Like I'm 100% positive. That is the only time. Only time. Which is not often. It's not often. Most of the time I'm like, I don't know. Also I don't know my mood. How am I gonna know if I'm going to be in the mood to stream or not when the time comes? Huh? How do you plan a week ahead when you don't know your moods? I'm an introvert. I could just full well not feel like talking. I actually don't feel like talking today, but I did schedule the stream, so I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's scheduled. You saw my YouTube shorts? Yes. Hi Chloe, how are you? How are you? But streams don't usually show up well because I try to be there from the start. That's valid. 2000s does have the best music, by the way, for real. It does. They were such bops, and it's really weird listening to like old music because I was having a moment when we were in the car singing our little lungs out, thinking about the differences in like popular songs. Because I was like, half of these songs that they played, like we've listened to like in the car and stuff, they played it like our middle school social and like high school prom. What songs would they play for kids today? Because the popular music today, like the more popular songs that you hear on TikTok and stuff, a lot of them are really inappropriate. So you wouldn't be able to play them. But like when we were kids, the songs weren't like, I mean, some of them were inappropriate, but they were a lot more like secretive about it. Like the wording they chose for something that like a kid would not understand, but like an adult listening to the song would. I've noticed that for like the older songs. And now like the newer songs are so explicit. So like, what did they play for like middle schoolers at like a dance or like high schoolers at a prom? Like what did they do? What did they do? The live chat on YouTube is quiet. Well, yeah, that's because I don't have that many people who watch me on YouTube yet. I'm a new YouTuber streamer. We gonna get there. We have too much obsidian. Oh, okay. What happened to the live chat on YouTube? Did it die? Is there something wrong? Like, can y'all not see it? It's there. It's there. Also, most of the people who watch on my YouTube are they come to my Twitch since my Twitch is a little more populated. It depends on the day though. There was that one stream that the last time I did Yip Yap mornings, my YouTube was way more populated than my Twitch, which was so weird because people don't watch my YouTube. I just started streaming on YouTube. Of course people don't watch me. Also, I don't be posting schedules. So how they gonna know when to watch me if I don't post a schedule? Y'all just be lucky because y'all got them Twitch notifications. People don't be subscribing to notifications on YouTube. Let's be real. You like Kids Bop? The Kids Bop? No, but the Kids Bop version, depending on the song, the Kids Bop version would be like so many bleeps out to the point where it ain't even a song anymore. You know what I mean? Like I forgot the name of the song. Ooh, but there's a lot of like songs where like I feel like if they tried to play the Kids Bop version, it wouldn't go well. Did y'all hear the Kids Bop version of We Belong Together? You know, we belong together, and then that last note, like on the Kids Bop version at this end of that song, the lady, like whoever was singing that Kids Bop version, could not hold it. They couldn't hold the note, so it was like, we belong together. It was so bad, and they left it in there. Like if you listen to the Kids Bop version of We Belong Together, it's really bad. Like at the end, it's really bad. It's really bad because I'm too lazy to chat in empty chats unless I want to bypass Twitch amounts of messages. That's true. There are an absurd amount of Twitch messages some days. And when the chat is not scrolling, it is easier to read the YouTube messages. Look at notification of your screen. I don't have any of those enabled. That's valid. I always find it funny. I came from YouTube and I was a video that, and I always find it funny. I came from YouTube and I was a video that didn't do well. I was a video that didn't do well. Panda, you good? You're a video now? Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I need to start calling you as such. Calling you a video. I listen to the Kids Pop and I don't know how I liked it. I actually never liked Kids Pop, even when I was a kid. I thought Kids Bop version sounds stupid, and I was like, why would I listen to the Kids Bop version when I can listen to the original song? I never liked Kids Bop, even when I was a kid. I didn't like it. New pronounce just dropped. Are y'all good today? New pronounce. Oh my god, new pronounce just dropped, guys. Y'all hear that? We can identify as videos for our new pronounces. I have old 2000 Kids Bop CD in my cover. I actually just threw away a ton of CDs. I'm trying to like stop hoarding things because I literally will sit there and be like, oh well, I like this even though I know I'm not going to touch it ever, and I haven't touched this thing in a million trillion years, but it's there. Oh, thank you for the 10 bits you get. 10 Ks. I'm trying to stop being a hoarder though. I literally keep holding on to stuff that I shouldn't. And like, I have to practice what I preach, because ever since Kotaru has moved in with me, I have put my hands on my hips and I have been like, nope, that's not coming in the house. You're not going to use that. Put that away. But I haven't been doing that too. So like, I had to start practicing what I preach. Do you like Asgore? I don't know nothing about Asgore. Other than like that name reminds me of Thor. Thor and Loki. But I don't know anything about that. I just know that that name's associated with them. I identify as an MP4. Yes, I am actually a WAV file. I have a WAV file, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I'm actually a WAV file. I'm just an audio box. I'm just an audio box. Hi, Jersey. Hi, Asian. Did you know that most drivers don't have a driver's license? You know, I believe it. Did I ever tell y'all the story of how I got my driver's license? I don't think I did. I actually got my license outside of COVID, like right when COVID was like coming to an end and people were starting to open things back up. So I didn't have to, but because of that, remember, you can't, welcome to the Puppy Parade. Remember, you can't social distance in the car. And because I was over the age of 18 when I had gotten my license, welcome to the Puppy Parade, Asian. But when I was over the age of 18 when I got my license, I had a permit. I literally held on to a permit for 3 years. For 3 whole years. Oh, Asgore versus Asgard. I think those are 2 different words. But anyways, I had held on to my permit for like 3 years. And I had kept like a little driving log. And they were like, oh, you just have to turn in, since it's COVID season and we can't actually do a driver's test because you can't. Oh, well, you can't. Y'all are making it so hard for me to tell my story. Because you can't. I'm like, my attention span is not. Oh, it's not holding up. Y'all are help me, help. I just want to tell how I gotta drive. You can't. You can't, because we were coming out of, you can't social distance in a car, okay? We can't social distance in the car, and so I walked in there expecting like at least to get like the test, like the written test, one on the computer. Nope, they were like, no, you don't need to do that, sorry. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so I didn't have to do the driving test because I was against COVID protocols. Since I was over the age of 18, you don't have to do it. You didn't have to do it. And then I didn't have to do the written test, but you're supposed to do the written test. I'm not really sure why they told me I didn't have to do it. And the kicker is, I didn't have to do any tests. And I almost failed the vision test. Because remember, if anyone remembers, my eyesight is atrocious, right? My eyesight is really bad. I almost failed the vision test because my glasses were really outdated. And if I don't get new glasses each year, I can't really see. It was bad. I almost failed the vision test. The only thing they required me to do was take a vision test. And I almost couldn't do that. I almost failed it. You know why I almost failed it? Because I got some of the letters wrong. But the guy said it was close enough. He was like, yeah, it's close enough. It's fine. Literally, he literally said it was close enough. I saw the letter O and I said it was a C.
and I said like the letter like P, and I said it was an R, for example. And he was like, "Man, I mean those letters look like each other, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass you." And then they charged me a few dollars, and that was it. Yeah, I only had one job, and I still basically failed at it, and that's how I got my license. So, I haven't crashed into anybody. So that's cool. I should get a reward. I haven't crashed into nobody ever. So I feel like I'm doing a really good job. I I feel like someone else in my position who got a license handed to her from doing literally nothing, they would have crashed by now, but not me. Not me. Now I've been a license holder for three. Yes, this year was made 3 years. I remember that specifically because I tried to get insurance with my I tried to get insurance with one of the insurance companies, and they told me, they were like, you need to be a driver for at least 3 years. And I was like, dang, girl can't even get insurance out here. I'm too I guess I was just too new of a driver to get insurance. But you need insurance to drive. So how do some insurance companies not accept you unless you have a license for X amount of years when you literally need insurance to drive? I can't drive without it. That's crazy. Also, hi gamer. How are you? Yeah. Sorry, I'm Eefy. Oh, I can't spell. Sorry, I tried to drop the Discord server since people asking, but apparently your girl cannot spell. Here's the Discord for YouTube too. Hi Rafa. Hi, how are you? How are you? Chloe, you surely live up to your name, Chloe. Did you know that? You're Chloe, the ray of sunshine, and you are truly a ray of sunshine. You're so sunshiny. Look at how much I'm smiling because you're such sunshininess. Because you're a Q. Did you know that? Hi, I'm lurking. Oh, hi, lurking. My name is Cyan. Yeah, you guys should give me an award. I'm funny. I hydrate. Been to the gym and then with the bike through the town. Chill day. Ooh. You know, I have friends in high school who wanted to go for bike rides with me downtown at the city. But I always turned them down, which was really unfortunate. But I only turned them down because I was like, when I was in high school, I was like, I've said this before, but it was a long time ago. I was like super underweight. Like I didn't weigh a lot. And I was also like really out of shape. Also, thank you, Chloe. That's so sweet. I was really out of shape. Like it was bad. And they were like, I want you to join my group of friends and we go biking throughout the city. I was like, biking throughout the city? Sir, what's going to happen is I'm going to get on a bike. I'm going to pedal for like maybe 10 seconds max. And then I'm going to go, and then y'all going to have to wait for me because I'm out of breath and I can't go nowhere. And they were like, it's okay. We open our group to like people of all skill levels. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. This was the time period when my house is like on a hill, basically, like there's an upward hill, and my house is kind of like down in the middle of the hill. And this was during the time where when I like recently had in high school had tried to ride my bike, and I like went up the hill very slightly. Hi, Zai. I went up the hill very slightly and then had to get off my bike because I was about to pass out. I literally went up like... Oh, the Discord thing ain't working? Oh, no, let me try it. I literally went up like for half a second up a hill and almost died. It was terrible. Make sure this link is working. Oh, it's working. I probably just copied and pasted it wrong. But yeah, I'm out of shape, man. It's not as bad as it used to be. Back then, when I was in high school, I was, I'm 5 foot 3 and I was 88 pounds. So if you can imagine, I was like really underweight. And when you're underweight like that, you don't have many muscles. You don't have many muscles and you get out of weight all the time. Hello, I'm Lassie. Oh, I've been calling you Soda this whole time. Okay, Lassie, I call you Lassie. But yeah, I was like, yeah, it was bad. I was 5'3" and I was 88 pounds. That was back when I was in high school and I was all emo and sad. And I was too sad to eat food. it was weird. It was a weird issue to have. I'm good now though. Welcome to the puppy parade, Green. I'm actually at the biggest weight I've ever been at in my life. And I weigh 116 right now. I have a healthy weight though. I have a healthy weight. I've actually just always been underweight though, like always. And no, it's not like my parents didn't feed me, but I was just always underweight. Every time, because I was back years ago, that was back when they like actually required people to do like those like BMI tests. Every single year I do a fitness test and like a BMI test in the gym class. That was like part of like health. They don't do it now though because it's quote unquote discriminatory, even though it's like, you know, health is helping your health and whatnot. But who cares? And it's just quote unquote discriminatory, so don't do that anymore. But they used to all the time, and every year they'd be like, you were underweight. You need to gain 20 pounds. Every time I was told I was like anywhere between like 10 to 20 pounds every year underweight. And it's true. You finally caught a stream. Hi, Zineri. How are you? Recently reached 100. It took me up until the age I am now of 17. Yeah, it takes for some people it takes longer than others. Some people just don't eat a lot. People used to ask me like, they used to be like, how come every time I see you, like you're eating some sort of snack, but you don't gain any weight? But like, I only ate snacks. In order to gain weight, you have to eat like snacks on top of their like actual meals. I didn't eat meals. I would literally eat like some Oreos and I'd be like, okay, this is my lunch. I'm good for the next like 3 hours. I ate 6 Oreos. Like that, it's not a good habit. It's not a good habit. So what you guys gotta do, you guys need to make sure that you are not like me, okay? I'm not saying this is a good thing. It's actually really bad. There's a lot of downsides to being underweight, actually. And when people don't talk about it, because there's more of an epidemic of people overweight than underweight, which is why like underweight doesn't get talked about like ever when it really should, because you kind of run into almost the same issues that people like who are overweight runs into. Like if you're underweight, like if you're underweight, for example, you get out of breath easily because you don't have food in your stomach to nourish you, you know? You get out of weight, you get out of breath really quickly. Your like tummy hurts all the time because you're not eating enough. So you guys gotta make sure that you eat lots so that you can be healthy weights. We don't want anybody under, and you also don't want to be overweight either. I know like it's like weirdly idolized to be like skinny, but like it really shouldn't be. Like if you're underweight, it's going to suck just as much, I swear, I promise you, than if you're overweight. Welcome to the puppy parade. Underweight talk, very niche thing. Yeah, well, that's like because of what I've been my whole life. Hey, thank you for the raid. How are you? What do? How be? We were talking about kind of a deep topic when you raided. Welcome to the puppy parade. Here, let me do the shout out. Let me do the shout out. What do? How be? You play game? You play Little Nightmare. Oh. Is that game spooky? Is it a scary game? I can't handle the spooks, so you're very brave. You're very, very, very super brave if you're playing the spooky game. Cause I'm a scaredy cat. Hi Vortex, also hello. Love the yip yap mornings. Underweight talk is a very niche thing to talk about these days. It is. I'm perfectly healthy. My body just it depends on your height. Like it really depends on your height. You have to look at when you talk about Sorry, we were like, I hate that we got it right when we're talking about weight. Because I feel like weight is such a sensitive topic. We were talking about like underweight and overweight and how they're both equally bad. How they're both equally bad. Okay. Um that like even if you're underweight, you still get bad symptoms just like you're overweight. So like even though it's like idolized to be underweight, even though you're literally going to experience very similar problems, you're gonna you're gonna be out of breath a lot of times because you don't have the energy because you're not eating enough food to have the energy in your bodies. You're gonna your stomach's gonna feel uncomfy a lot of times because you're hungry. You know, like there's a lot of problems like that. Oh, or you get cold so easily, so you'll be like shivering. It's so bad. But yeah, BMIs matter. Like, it's a height to weight ratio that needs to be maintained for it to be healthy. So like somebody who's like 7 feet tall will not weigh the same as somebody who's like 5 feet tall, for example. Like those are very important when you like look at things. For sure. How is your stream? My stream is pretty good. We just talking about whatever comes up. We talking about literally anything. Wait, you're also a dog? Yeah, I am a dog. I'm a marching band dog. I'm a dog that does the marching. However, we chilling right now. So, hi Shadow Engine. Ha ha ha. I love Little Nightmares. It's so cool. Little Nightmares is a bit of horror, but it's not too much. Oh, okay. At least that game's not too scary. At least the game's not too scary. Your ex is back in town? Oh. What do you do about that? I don't know. I've actually never had an ex. I can't. What do people do when that happens? What do you do when your ex comes back in town? She's a fox. I'm not a fox. I'm a dog. I'm a husky to be exact. That's why my tail is so fluffy and big. Because huskies have big fluffy tails. So you're lucky, Cyan, with not having an ex. I mean, in the technical terms of an ex, I technically do have one, but I never really considered them an ex, mostly because like we didn't like date for that long. We did not date that long. Oh, someone redeemed the outfit change. Boom! Now I'm a marching band dog. Take you under the marching band. And you like trains, yeah. I do remember you like trains. I technically, welcome to the puppy parade of Vic. I technically have had an ex. At a technical stance of what an ex is, you can say I had one. But I never dated anybody long enough for me to like consider them an ex. And they never ended on like a negative terms. So like one person I literally went on, like I dated for like a week and a half. And then there was another person that I dated for like 3 months, I guess you could say. But like because it was an online relationship, like for me it didn't feel like much of a relationship. That's how I realized that like online dating is just not for me. That's why I say like I did it like technical standpoints, yes they are an ex, but like to me it just didn't feel like it didn't feel like a relationship. Like I tried it and it didn't feel like a relationship. So like, and we like we're friends now. So like, I mean, technically, we are exes. We are, well, you know, I'm a chocolate cat ice cream nurse. How may I soft serve you? How would you like to be soft served? I get that. Yeah, online dating is rough. Yeah, I dated a Vtuber. For 3 months. But like I said, it just didn't feel like dating because of the like only talking like on phones and Discord call and like only screen sharing and stuff. I just wasn't for that. I was like, this is not. Mostly because I'm a very touchy feely person, you know. I like hugs. I like holding hands. I like head pats. You know, I like cuddles. I can't have that on the phone, you know? You can't really do any of that on the phone. So for me, because it was missing that, aspect, it just didn't feel like a date, like dating, you know what I mean? Because it was missing like the biggest thing to me, for me to consider it. I have two huskies and I can't spell their names because dyslexic, but they are very loud. Yeah. I'm loud too. Oh! And my dog, Shadow, who's in the other room right now, probably thinks I'm crazy. So, I like trains, especially steam engines, because they're so cool. Yeah. I'm kind of an online relationship of 5 years in a long distance relationship, and that works. I'm not saying that the online relationships like don't happen. They can be good for people, for certain people. It's just it wasn't my thing specifically. Only because of what like I consider for me what needs I need to have met for it to feel like a relationship. But for some people, online dating is like a good thing for them. Some people prefer like meeting people online as opposed to meeting people in person, for example. And to each their own. It's not a bad thing. No, I would never think it's a bad thing. Some people meet their husbands and wives and online, and then they eventually move in together and they have a big family. It's so cool. You gotta be able to see them at least a little out. Yeah, you gotta at least be able to see them sometimes, though. Whether you like fly out to see each other or something. Yeah, because people act different online than they do in person. So it is very important that at least like while you're dating them, that you meet them in person at least. How's that, Brianna? At least at least a few times, for at least a good little duration. People do act different in person than they do online. Mostly because it's easier to craft. I feel like it's a lot easier to craft a persona online than it is to do that in person. Like you could like pretend to be a different kind of person online. just because it's easier to do that like through like a text message or like through a voice call. But like when you're in person and like in their space, they can't do that no more. That's why I think it's important. Definitely important to meet them. Online you can roleplay and do more curse stuff. That's true. Yeah, there's anonymity. Anonymity. There's anonymity of it. It's anonymity, and it's not it's not good. Sorry, I can't say. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just fine. I'm just fine. There's just certain words I can't say. And that's one of them. Sorry. Woof. Anonymity. Anonymity. Anonymity or anonymity? Anonymity. We just gonna move on. I'm gonna just pick a different word. Wait. Google. Anonymity. It's anonymity. It's anonymity, guys. The word is anonymity. The word is anonymity. So this is a sense of anonymity online. Yeah, thanks, Google. You're my best friend. Yeah. I like role-playing with trades. I don't even know how a trade roleplay would even begin. Like what? You ever heard the word Sonder? No, I haven't. You got it? Thank you. I forgot how to say the word already. I'm not gonna lie. That's okay. Don't think about it. I don't think about it. Wouldn't it be the first time that I managed just people think my 2 different accounts are 2 different people and not just me, even if I don't ever intentionally create the situation? Yeah. I still don't remember. Cries of past, like are you Wave? Like I don't, It's mostly because Twitch doesn't have profile pictures. Like I can tell, like looking at like the profile picture of like the YouTube chat messages and like compare it to like the Twitch one, to like the Discord ones. But because Twitch does not like show in chat the profile pictures, yeah, that's what makes it. Excuse me, that's what makes it harder. I choose you. That's the train roleplay. I choose you. No, I choose you. I chewed right into your heart. Oh, you did? Yeah, I chose you. Yeah. Just wait until I bring my all YouTube and Twitch again. Don't confuse me, please. You haven't met profile pics floppers yet? No. Well, there are some people who switch them out all the time. And then they'd be like, Cyan, do you know who I am? And I'm like, no, I don't. You gotta stop changing your pictures. I need consistency in my life. I need to say the same image, or at least the same character in your profile picture, you know what I mean? Like if you pick a random anime character, it's gotta be the same random anime character, you know. Yeah, I went to go see some marching bands yesterday. We see them every year. They're a group of bands that like tour the US and they stop at a bunch of different locations and whatnot, and they perform. And let me tell you, there's like this one band I root for every year, mostly because the first time I saw them, they did this crazy show. They still lost the competition, which they always lose, but I love them anyways. But this year a different band that I kind of like. You know what their whole show is about? So these bands are different. They're not like traditional like marching bands. These bands put on shows with like different themes. Every year they get new outfits. They have different themes. They for their shows they have different music, all that stuff. They look completely different every year. The only thing that's the same is that they have the same name, right? This year, one of the band's shows was about, you ready for it? Crosswalks. It was called Crosswalk. And throughout the song, like, because like in these bands they're allowed to have like backtracks and like recordings and stuff to add like extra effects to their music and stuff, so they do it all the time. Every band uses them. This one was about crosswalk, and I kid you not, in the middle of the performance you'd hear wait, like the crosswalk noise. And I was cracking up. It was so funny. Oh my god, I'm adding that band to my list of favorite bands. So I'm gonna be looking for them next year. Wait. Maybe playing like this grand moment of like music just building up, like blah blah, big build up, and also these bands are only brass. There's no woodwind in these bands, so all you hear, all right, it's power, because they're all brass and percussion. There is no woodwinds. All right, there's no goofy odd clarinets in these bands. All right, only trumpets, trombones, euphoniums, baritones, all that. Sometimes they pull up a flugelhorn. Trumpets play those. I've played a flugelhorn before. They're kind of fun. I like them. And you have this triumphant music. It builds up into this grand moment, and then you hear, wait. God, I love them. I love them so much. That was what I think that show was the highlight. I mean, they were like one of the earlier bands to perform. Honestly, after I saw that, I wanted to leave. I was like, nobody is going to make me laugh like this band did today. Wait. It's about crosswalks. Who comes up with that? And then there's another band that performed. And tell me why this band was about pipes. That's it. They had giant props of giant pipes. And their uniforms had pipes on it. And they were the color of pipes. And it was about pipes. And then the color guard dancers were blue. So they were the water that dripped out of the pipe. And you know, a lot of these shows have like some deeper meaning into it. And you have to like really like look at the visuals, and you gotta really look at the visuals combined with the music they're playing and like some of the words that are being said in the backtracks to really grasp what the show is talking about. Some of the meanings are really cool. Like some of the bands will like tell entire like crazy like stories with like their dancer, like act with like their dancers, their music, their the shapes they make on the field. Some of them tell like the most intense stories, and the like outfit changes like mid song. They're intense. And then you get shows about pipes and crosswalks. Like what is this? What this year? I the bands I saw this year, man. I don't know. I just don't know. There was no crazy show with like some crazy, like intense like story from start to finish. No, we got pipes and crosswalks. What a weird time. What a weird time. Last year there was like this whole crazy performance about like these like last year there was a crazy performance like it's like that started off like this one band. They're like trudging across the field. They had like chains like attached to like their foot. They're like trudging across the field, playing music, and then over. It was like a full story about like demons, and like a hero came and he like fought the demon. It was insane because sometimes they get like full on like color guard to act as actors, so they'll give them like one role. Like you are the demon lord. That is your role. Now you go be a demon on stage. You know what I mean? Sometimes they have something like cool like that, and it's so fun. And this year we got crosswalks and pipes. I can't. And then all the other bands, I didn't understand any of the meanings at all. Like none of them. They were cryptic. One was called Kaleidoscope, and if you could guess it, they were just very colorful. Like I don't know, is there meaning there, or are you just colorful? Like I don't know. You kind of want to see marching band IRL at some point. They're fun to watch. Maybe in the future. I mean, I am a marching band VTuber. In the future, we will I probably will sit down and like watch some bands with you guys. However, this would have to be Twitch exclusive because YouTube will ban me if I do that. So maybe one day on Twitch we'd sit down and we'd watch some of the performances and stuff, and I maybe explain to you guys the different kinds of bands, because there are I mean, I've mentioned it on the stream before, there are different kinds of bands. They all look different, they sound different. I've said it before because people like talk about my design and they're like, Cyan, you don't look like a band person because you don't have tassels and golden buttons. But like that's just like the military bands. And like occasionally some high school and some college bands, but like most bands like look really different. The groups I was talking about that I went to go see yesterday, they actually don't wear traditional band uniforms. You actually wouldn't know they were a band unless they were holding instruments, which they were. Like the band that I like the most, their iconic thing is that they wear fedoras. Every year they wear a fedora. It's not a fedora, it's like a cowboy hat fedora. It's like somewhere in between, but that's like their logo. That's like their thing. That's what they wear every year. And they usually wear like these like long trench coats. Every year they wear like a little fedora, black cowboy hat, and like a trench coat, and that's like their uniform. I think this year they wore something like a little different than what they tend to, but like, yeah, fedoras. Is that LARPing? Genuinely curious. Also, hi, Growth Van. I wouldn't call it LARPing per se, but most professional marching bands, like marching bands that aren't just like tied to a college or something, right? Like, oh, you're in college, you can audition for it. No, I mean like bands outside of college that you actually audition for and try for. A lot of them involve a lot of dancing, acting, and I would honestly say like color guard movements, like jazz running, jumping, spinning. Some of them will do backflips, front flips, crazy stuff happens, splits. I mean, like it's a very, I don't know how to word it. Like you literally just have to see it. There's so many different kinds. Welcome to the Poppy Parade, Jordy. And I kind of want to educate people on that because people don't know. People just see the marching bands you see in parades and they think, yep, that's it. That's all the bands. But no, there's so many. There's so many different kinds. There's so many different kinds, and people and there's some of them are such like really cool concepts and really cool shows, but people don't know about it because if you're not like if you yourself weren't in a band, or if you like weren't close to somebody who played like in a band, you probably wouldn't know about these things. I didn't know about these other bands that we've been watching every year until I started talking and dating Kotaru, actually, because he was the one who introduced me to them. Because it was his yearly tradition. And then we started dating, and he invited me to come with him, and now I go with him too. So like, there's so many different kinds. But when people think of band, that they just think of like the golden buttons and the tassels and you know, the high knees and the marching around. But there's so many. There's so many. There's so many different kinds. You got HBCU bands, which act different from like the other college bands. Then you got DCI drum corps. Then you got like WGI. And these are all different like band categories, so they act different, they perform different, they perform different, their stage presence is different, their outfits are different. Their outfits are very different. A lot of them, when you get to like WGI and drum corps, they don't actually wear the marching hat like I do. Like the Shako, they don't wear Shakos. They just wear whatever, to be honest. Rain World gameplay would, I have to look into Rain World. I still don't know much about it. But yeah, one day we'll probably sit down and just watch some bands, and then we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll do a I'll do a band rating session. I will rate the bands based on what I see and what I hear. We'll do a band tier list. Maybe I'll go through like all like the WGI bands or something and rate them, or like go through all the DCI bands and rate them, or all the top HBCU bands and rate them, or something. You can't mix the categories though. Like I can't rate HBCUs and WG. Like it has to be one or the other, because they're different categories for like. At the end of the day, like marching and playability is like the biggest things, but like there's more that goes into it when it comes to like the band type. So. Someone who was in the marching band by high school, she tried saying that you were wrong because it wasn't what she... I mean, that's how it goes. That's literally how it goes. People are like, I was in the band and we didn't do that. Okay? But there's so many bands. There's so many different kinds of bands. And that's what trips me out about... I think that's one of the things that tripped me out about band, though. Because there's so many different kinds, but not everybody's aware of that. So they try to pretend like one band is all bands. Hey Tommy, how are you? Hey Tommy. But you gotta be versed in all the band types if you go and talk band. You gotta know your band types. You gotta know your band seasonings, you know? Well, yeah, I think one day, because I think it's an interesting topic, and it's also something that people just don't know a lot about, which is why I think it'd make for a fun stream. I'd be down for that. To just sit down and talk bands, look at the different categories of bands, maybe do like a tier list or something of the top bands within a specific category, for example. Even in college marching band, there's many different types. Yeah, I mean, HBCU bands perform differently than non-HBCU bands do. Like, black colleges have their own style of marching that, like, non-black colleges don't really tend to do. They do it sometimes. They will. I will say that. It's not like exclusively to HBCU, but it's something you see more often with HBCUs, you know? Like, it's literally like there's so many different types. Even like even the way you march on the field is different. Some schools do roll. This is between high schools, between colleges. Some schools do roll stepping and play more like technical music and stuff. And some schools are show bands and they do high stepping, and instead of playing more technical musics, they'll play loud and proud and music that is more for the crowd to please than like a judge. Like there's difference between playing music to please a judge and playing music to please a crowd. And that's the difference between a show style band and I think it's called core band, between a core band and a show style band. They're very different. I my high school was a show style band, so our performances were to please a judge. However, my college band was a show style band, so we played loud and proud, and our goal was to please the crowd. So it's different. It's different. Because you know, when you're trying to please a judge, you want to play technical pieces. You want to play pieces that songs that like really show off your skill, and who cares if the song sounds ugly? But you get to hear how good we can tongue each note, and how good our breath support is, and how we can start and end a note together, you know, and you get to hear all that good stuff. But like when you're trying to appease a crowd that doesn't matter, so you end up just playing like more popular songs and more like fun and just loud, and you know, we have dance breaks. Like it's so different. Even from high school to high school is different. My high school was core style, but literally the high school down the street was show style. Literally the high school around the corner from my high school had a completely different style, which means the competitions they competed in were different from mine. Like it's literally around the corner. Literally, it was around the corner, but so different. You know what I mean? I was in marching band in high school and the drum corps in college. Yeah. You played drum corps? Do you, would you, I don't know, would you, can you tell me which drum corps you marched in, or no? It's okay if you don't, because that could be a private thing, but I'm curious. I recently got into drum corps the past few years, so I know some of the bands, but I don't know all of them. What instrument did you play? I'm a trumpet girl. I play trumpet. I played trumpet for 9 years. I marched trumpet for about 6, because I did 4 years in high school and only 2 in college. I only did 2 years in college because my college band, they were pissing me off. My band members were pissing me off. So I just opted to not be in the band anymore. And it wasn't like I didn't like band. I liked band itself. I just didn't like the band, like the people who were around me. It sound like a metal, like the metal world, probably. The accessible bands, and then there's the prog metal bands that have 5 adjectives before the word prog. Yeah, that's probably how it is. Nice deal you have, thank you. Now I really wish I would manage to make it to that band stream. Yeah, we need to do one. We need to do a stream where we just talk about the different kinds of bands. I think it'd be very fun. I think Kotaru should be here too with me when I do that stream. Like, he can pull up his chair and sit next to me, because he has tons more. I mean, like, I wouldn't consider myself much of a band nerd. I have a lot of knowledge of band, but like the topic itself does not come up often enough for me to call myself a nerd. And I'm not that knowledgeable. I'd say I'm like a mid-tier knowledgeable when it comes to band stuff. But Kotaru, I mean, he is an expert. He can listen to like the first note and be like, oh, this is that one band that played in this is that one band called this, and their show was called this, and this performance was done in 2001. Like, he can literally hear a note and be like, this is that one band that performed it. Like, he would be perfect, like, for this. He's a nerd. He's a bigger nerd than me, but I can't say I'm not one, though. Not enough for you. That might be too much to reveal for piracy. Yeah, I get that. That's why I asked. That's why I was like, I'm not sure if that'd be too much, quite a big question to ask or not. But that's valid. Honestly, I was thinking yesterday while I was watching bands perform, I was like, you know, I'm gonna get man, if I ever become a big VTuber and I end up with like big VTuber money, you know what I should do? I'm gonna get a band to rep my outfit. I'm gonna sponsor a band and they have to march with my outfit. I'm gonna start. We gonna sponsor a band and we gonna turn them into the Cyan puppies. Yes. You know how cool that would be? And you know, Kotaru always wanted to start his own band, so he could be the band director. He could direct the Cyan band. I would sponsor it. I put all my money in it, and all he'd have to do is put his heart and soul into it, and it'd be so great. That'd be so cute. I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy we had a Cyan marching band. Oh, that'd be so fun. I did play the quints. Ooh, so you played the cool instrument. I play trumpet. Trumpet's okay. I'm actually not that fan of. I'm not that big of a fan of wind instruments. Period. Like instruments that require air to play. I find that I don't like it as much. When I got my hands on a cello for the first time, I was like, wow. I really want a cello. Like I've wanted a cello for a while now. Like I really. Hi lady girl. How are you? I really want a cello. I really want a cello. Guys, if I put a cello on my throne list and have it crowdfunded, I promise that if the cello gets crowdfunded, you guys can watch me. I'll do learning how to play cello streams. I really want a cello. They're so cool. They're so cool. I don't know. I played trumpet for a long time, and over those years, I kind of learned that I don't like being in the front. I don't like being in the front, which trumpets are always front center. And I like playing the harmonies of parts. I don't like playing the main melody. So I know trumpets are like known to have a big echo and they're always fighting for first, which just tends to be true, low-key. Like between my sections, they always were fighting for first. Me? Bro, I just wanted to be second. I got put on first trumpet once and I was really upset about it. I like second trumpet because they always like play like the harmonies of the first trumpet part, and I find that more like a lot more fun. So like when me and Kotaru plays duets, I always play the bottom part. Always. We were playing duets like I think last time we played duets like 2 weeks ago. I always play the bottom part. Always. I prefer harmonies, which is why I'm like maybe I picked the wrong instrument because trumpet is not the instrument to be playing harmonies. They always get the melody. They always get the melody. But I like string instruments. I like the way a cello vibrates like on your fingers when you're pulling the string. I don't know, I just like how it feels. I just like how it feels. I was able to play nearly any woodwind instrument, like anything with the reed. Yeah, Kotaru is kind of like that, except he played all brass instruments. Like he knows how to play, like he played euphonium and trumpet and he played euphonium, he played trumpet, he plays trombone. I don't know if he knows how to play a tuba or not, but he probably does, knowing him. So Kotaru's a certified nerd? Of course he is. Yes, he is a nerd. I'm a nerd, he's a nerd. We're nerds. Seems like this side of chat is dying for the stream, which is sad. I mean, it happens. Someday we'll have my YouTube and Twitch chat both active at the same time. That's only happened one time so far. Ooh, crowdfunding? Yeah. Maybe we'll... Okay, Pinky, that sounds like a deal. Maybe I'll crowdfund a cello. I want a cello. I want one. Maybe I'll buy myself a cello for Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave her a cello. And the very next day, she played it all day. That's it. That's the new song. It's the new jingle. Jingle, jingle. I play flute and we keep getting put into the front when we do school stuff and I get scared and distressed. Do you? The flute at my school, at least in high school and college actually, I'm gonna say both. The flute was always like in the back corner. Like in the back corner somewhere. Birds of his pleasure stick togethers. Sweet eyes you have, I must say. Thank you. And I was there when both were active. Yes, you were there that day that both were active. Both chats were active. Harmony and bass lines are fun. They are! I want to play a cello! Oh, I love the cello. My brother let me play his for a little bit. It was like... He's a music teacher. So like... he had access to the instrument. So it was one of the school instruments though. So I only got to play it while I was at his house for like a short duration. And I played it all the time. Oh, I loved it. This was so fun. Stop streaming on TikTok because of how bad my streams would die. Well, I don't stream on TikTok at all. I wanted to. But trying to get a stream key for TikTok is like jumping through hoops. They no longer have it like, you know, YouTube, you go to like the live studio, there's your stream key. Twitch, you go to like the creator dashboard, there's your stream key. TikTok, you can search and search and search all day. It's not there anymore. They removed it from like, there's like a month or two ago. It's like, it's just not there anymore. So you have to go through some like hoops to get one generated for you through like some third party stuff. Is ridiculous. It's kind of crazy. I never had a live streaming, like a platform where you're able to live stream at, not tell you how to live stream. I don't know why they did that. This year, to save him from tears, I'll get one for Kotaru too. I like eating schnitzels. The only thing I know about schnitzels are from that one show Chowder, and Schnitzel was that one character. That's it. That's all I know. When I get the chance to sit in the second row, I take it, but I mostly can't share it because I share sheet music with my friend. Oh yeah, I don't miss those days of sharing sheet music. It's crazy because having bad eyesight is actually a really big debuff in the band. Because if you can imagine, you have to be able to like share a stand with somebody, right? And you're also not supposed to have bad posture. You're supposed to have like your trumpet up and like above the stand. But like my playing posture is always terrible because I can't see the music. Oh, Cyan, you need to sit up. No, I can't see the music. I'm like, huh? Then lift your stand up to go with it. But if I lift my stand up and now the stand's too far away from me because it's high up in the air and now I can't see it because I have bad eyesight, I can't see. Like and people just don't understand that. I mean, people like to be like, oh, we can tell how blind you are because of how thick your glasses are. But then when it comes to me like explaining to people how blind I am, they're like, nuh-uh, she could see. She got glasses on. Oh, thanks. I ain't realized. I didn't realize that these thick glasses like makes my eyes suddenly work again. Oh, that's crazy. Oh wow, I know. Rada. Yeah, yeah, schnitzel. There's a karaoke scene on the Twitch side later this week. Yes, I will be doing Twitch karaoke on Wednesday. I'm not sure about YouTube karaoke. I've already gotten not a copyright strike. I've already gotten a channel warning, and they said if I do it again, the warning will turn into a strike on the channel. 3 strikes, you're out. So Twitch don't be putting strikes on my channel. So we gonna have a Twitch stream when we do karaoke. Cause I ain't playing with YouTube, bro. They stressing me out. YouTube rules are scary. They be taking them things seriously. Twitch rules be like, hey, just like dress good and like don't let audio go to your vibes if you don't want them. YouTube, they will snatch your stream. They will take your stream down while you're streaming. They will snatch your live. They will just be like, no, sorry, you're not live anymore. We didn't like what you did. We're taking your live away. YouTube's scary. They're scary. I ain't taking no chances, bro. We go do karaoke, but it's gonna be a Twitch only stream. They scaring me. Can I tell you how bad my band teacher was? Of course. I have the highways, bro. I have a lot of bad band stories. Mostly because of like I said, I told you I quit my college band, right? Like I actually, fun fact, I quit college band, which is why I only marched there for 2 years. And then I rebranded as a marching band dog, like shortly after it, because I was like, my dorm was right next to the band room. So I would see them like performing and stuff and I wasn't with them and it made me really upset. But I had to leave the band because they just weren't good people. A lot of the people in the band weren't, so it was really toxic. But I still loved band itself. So the best way to get my band fix, hi Captain Fox, hi Growth Man on Twitch, on Twitch now. The best way I could do to get my band fixed was like to just brand myself as a band VTuber, and that's how the marching band outfit came about. Because I designed this when I was sitting in my dorm room frowning because I could hear the band marching right outside my door and I wasn't a part of it because they were mean. Y'all want to hear some bad band stories? Y'all want to hear the stories of why I quit band? I don't think I've talked about it on stream a lot. It's one of the things that like when I start ranting about it, I don't stop for a long time. So I try not to let myself talk about it. But like if it's a topic that you guys are interested in, then I would lovely rant about my band days. Rant about my band days. It's the first time I was able to catch your stream. Oh my god, so many people were showing up. I met a bike. She didn't know how to teach us. I swear I had to teach 4 girls how to play the flute and do the finger thing, and it made me so mad and stressed out. Also, when we did concert, it was terrible. Oh my god. My high school band director was a lot like that. I think my college band directors were a lot more competent. It was the people in the band itself who were not. I will give y'all all the tea. After these ad breaks, there will be on Twitch. Welcome to the Poppy Parade. On Twitch, there will be a 3-minute ad break in 1 minute. During that time, I will put the Be Right Back screen on. I will go to the bathroom. I'll get a sippy sip of water. I'm going to take a few bites out of the cookie that I have upstairs because it's delicious. That way that nobody misses anything during excuse me, the very long ad break. Yeah, YouTube, you friends don't have to deal with that, but because I am a Twitch streamer first, so I gotta make sure my Twitch hobbies don't miss every ounce of dialogue. I'm not going to spill the tea when my people can't even listen to the tea because there's Twitch ads, you know? So during that time, I'm gonna put on the Be Right Back screen, okay, friend? And I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Also, it makes a good break for me because I had to go to the bathroom all the time. So now that there's like built-in bathroom breaks, I'm not complaining. You eat watermelon earlier? I don't like watermelon like at all. It literally tastes like water, nothing. Anyways, I will tell you guys all the band tea after this short break. Yeah. Let me actually press the button though. I missed the button to switch screens. Bye. Be right back. 3 minutes, guys. Be right back in 3 minutes.
Hello, 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 hello. I decided not to eat cookies because I remembered that that after stream and after Kotaru comes home from works, we're going to go get some ice cream. And I remembered that, and if I eat cookies, mind you, the cookie I bought has 100% of your daily sugar value in it. There's like 50 grams of sugar in it. So I figured if I'm going to eat Dairy Queen ice cream, I probably shouldn't eat the 50 grams of sugar cookie. I'm not gonna lie, that would be I might end up in a hospital if I do that. The cookie I bought, I found it at the store, and it's 2 sugar cookies slapped together with icing in the middle. I kid you not, it's literally 2 sugar cookies with sugar in the middle. Like when I tell you that I really shouldn't eat that, I mean it. I really should not eat that. Diabetes cookie? Oh, 100%. It is a diabetes cookie. I'm gonna have to eat that thing in like fourths if I don't want to die. It's 1 cookie. It's 1 little pack, and it has 100% of your daily Listen, I've had cookies with a ton of sugar in them before. That was the first time I've ever looked at the label of anything and it said 100% on your cookie, like of your cookie. It's funny, 100% of your like sugar value. I'm gonna eat that cookie and be in a coma. Like no more stream for the rest of the week. I'm in a cookie coma. Yeah, so I shouldn't have both that and ice cream. That'd be like a terrible, terrible idea. Anyways, I also got really tired in like the smallest span. Not sure this is a waste. Nah, you redeemed the outfit change. I changed outfits. We get the purple outfit now. Alright. I shall regale my stories of bands since you guys were saying y'all want to hear it. Thank you, Ethereum. Welcome to the Poppy Parade. Y'all want me to start with the high school band issues I had, or the college band issues? Because the college band, I hated the band people, like the band's like members, and they were really mean. But the high school ones, I didn't like the band director. So these are different stories. I could have spanned Umbus with that. You could have bought like at least 1 million Umbus. This is like a date Cyan model. It is. People call it my date night outfit, and it stuck. I like that name, date night outfit. I have a cafe that we sit and chat in. Although I haven't used that background in a while, mostly because I haven't set it up with my new computer. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. I don't know why taking a break made me so eepy. Like I was not this eepy. Start at the beginning. Time to set that up. Set up that. Not right now. It'll take a while to set up. There's a lot of moving pieces in that background because you got like the little desk, you got the chair. I gotta put like the little flowers and decor on the table itself to make it look pretty. Like it comes with like it's like a pack of like 20 different separate PNGs. Like I tell you, it would require a lot of setup. It does. Can you do a flip? Here. Yeah, I can do a flip, and then I can tell y'all about y'all band stories. Okay. Okay. All right. This is the best way. This is the only way I can do a flip like this. Oh, y'all like that? Yeah, I can do a backflip too. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you like that? You like that? You follow for flip? Yeah. It's the best you've gotten tonight. So cheers, thanks. You're welcome. Anytime I'll flip. I'll flip forward and flip backward. I can even flip on a different dimension, but y'all ain't ready for that yet. I can't show y'all that. I ain't ready for that. You got banned for asking something? That's really funny. I feel like some people are so trigger happy with the ban button. I only ban if I get bad vibes from somebody. Or if they're like mean. Alright guys, I'm gonna tell y'all the story of Cyan being in the band. Back in high school. Honestly, there's not much to tell about the high school band though. That's actually where I met Kotaru. I met Kotaru in high school bands. And
there was that time. I'm actually making a TikTok about this. I have sent it off to be edited. But there's that time when I was in the high school band, and me and Kotaru sat next to each other for quite a while. We were like trumpet partners. Like we'd stay after school and do duets and stuff together. We were like trumpet friends. And we were sitting next to each other, and the band door was open. It's like more like outdoor like campus, a school campus. Hi, Justin. And so we were minding our business, playing the music, looking at the band director when we were supposed to. And all of a sudden, Kotaru out of nowhere, he looks at me and he goes, "Ew! Did you just lick me?" I was like, "Hi, Hydra. Did you just lick me?" And I was like, "No. Why would you think I licked you?" He's like, "You licked me on the elbow. Look, my elbow's wet." And I was like, "Ew. Why would you think I licked you? That's so weird." And then like, we both turned around at the same time. It was like a slow turn. We both slowly turned around. And there was a dog. There was a dog just standing there. He was just standing there, staring at us. And his tail was wagging so fast, and he started licking Kotaru with Todd. But I was like so like baffled and upset at the fact that this man accused me of licking him on the elbow. Listen, I was the weird kid in high school, but I wasn't weird enough to lick people on the elbows. Like come on now. I wasn't that weird. Was the dog the matchmaker? I guess so. Yep, the dog got us talking by getting him to accuse me of licking him on the elbow. Like, listen, I am a dog. I'm not that kind of dog, all right? I don't just be licking random people. Okay, I only lick my best friends, of course, right? That's, you know, you only lick people who are close to you. That was so bad. But it was so silly. I mean, I guess he didn't expect there to be a dog in the band room. Nobody did. And Mr. Teacher Man was really angry. Actually, he was really upset because he was like, "Guys, focus! We're over here. Focus to me." And you're like staring at the dog. You know, I don't blame him though, because I am a teacher now. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and sometimes things in the classroom will happen that like it's like, super distracting, and the kids will just not look away. I'm like, guys, you have all seen a bee before. Why are we staring at it? You weren't that weird in the other fairy tales we could tell of ourselves. Listen, I wasn't that weird, I think. I had to have been some level of weird though, yeah, if Kotaru's like first instinct was like, "Oh yeah, she definitely did that." Like he had to think I thought I was weird, right? Like he had to have thought I was like not a normal person. But yeah, I didn't like band in high school. Mostly it's just the band director. He was the type of person like, so my freshman year, we had this one band director. He was really good. Like, he was the best of the best. Under his leadership, the band was constantly winning competitions. We were constantly in first place. Sometimes we get second, but we were mostly first and second place winners, right? This was for concert band, symphonic band, and for marching band. Every kind of band that he taught, we always performed well. And that's because he was a really good teacher, right? He would, if there's a part that didn't sound good, he would test it. He'd be like, "Okay, this sounds terrible. Go down the line. You play. Okay, yeah, you play it. Now you play." And he'd go down the line and see who could play and who couldn't. If the whole section like struggled to play the part, and it wasn't just like one or two people struggling, you know what he'd do? Test next band by next band class. You got next week. You got next week to learn this part. And then when next week comes, I'm testing you, every single person in the section. So y'all better have, like, he was on it. And he would also explain, like, we'd have days where we just learn fundamentals. Like, if we were, like, lacking on something, he would, like, go in depth and, like, teach about it and whatnot. And it was so good. And then my sophomore year, that band director left. And he got replaced with a not so good band director. But what made me really mad my sophomore year was my freshman year band director. He was a really good instrumentalist. Geez, Nightbot, chill out. Drop all messages at one time. But my freshman year band director, I looked up to him so much. He was a really good instrumentalist. Everybody respected him because he was just so good at what he did. He could play any instrument at like a god tier level. Like we'd be like, "Oh, we can't understand how to play this part." He'd be like, "Give me your instrument." And then he'd put his little mouthpiece in, or he'd put his own reed in the instrument. He'd play it, bro. And he'd be like, "This has no sound here." And like he'd be like, and then he'd give you the section a whole lesson on how to play it properly and what you're not doing right with your embouchure and your lips and all this stuff. Like, he was so good. So sophomore year comes to get a new band director, right? But the previous band director was still around. You know, he just he retired. It's like that's why he wasn't. That's why he just wanted to retire. That's why he wasn't there that next. You know, after that. But he still wanted to help out during band camp. So he seeks me out during band camp. This man I respected, look up. He's a god at his all instruments. And he seeks me out personally. He's also very scary, mind you, because he was like the way he was. And he goes, Cyan, I think you are a great trumpet player. I think the only thing you really need to work on is your range. And once you get your range together, because my range was always trash. Like even to this day, I can't play very high. Like my tone was always fine. Like I actually liked my tone. I just could not play past like a certain note, which was like a problem. But he sought me out specifically, and he was like, here is the first trumpet music. I want you to play first trumpet this year. I think all you need to do is work on your range, and I think you would be an incredible instrumentalist. You'll be an incredible trumpet player. So here's the first trumpet music. Please play this part this year. Please do. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? I don't know. I was like, oh my gosh, you want me to play that part? And he was like, yes, this first trumpet part is for you. This is your part. And I was like, yeah. And then literally that same day, the new band director walks in the room and he goes, we have too many first trumpets. You. And he pointed at me and he goes, I want you to play third. And I was so mad. The person I had looked up to and aspired personally sought me out and told me that I should be playing the harder parts because he wants me to like learn and stuff, and he thought I'd be like a really good trumpet player. And then this other dude who just doesn't know any of the players yet just walks in and goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you're going to be on third trumpet. And then he kept me there all the way until senior year, and I was really mad about it. Like, it drives me insane. And I won't be active unless that's okay. It drove me insane. But it drove me insane because it happened, like, a lot of times. Like, a lot of times. You like bees? I actually don't like bees. Bees are really scary. That sounds like you're a very good teacher. Yeah, you always get that one good teacher every now and then. But, like, and that happened every year. Like in middle school, for example, I was on second and third trumpet. Why? Because the band director told me, he said the second and third trumpets need like a good player to help them out. You know, like they're really weak. They can't play their part. So we need you to play that part for you. And I was like, but I want to be like first. I want a chance to play first. And they were like, no. And he was like, no. So he put me on third, like second and third trumpet, like all 3 years I was in middle school, and then had the nerve to give me a medal for being best brass player at the end of the year. And I was so mad. I was like, you called me the best player and you wouldn't put me on like the good player parts. And then I got to high school, same thing happened. The good band director was like, I think you're really good. I want you to play first. And then the other band director showed up and was like, nope, you're on third now. And then the same thing happened in college too. Like I got to college and the one person, the assistant band director, so he doesn't make the call, but the assistant band director was a god tier trumpet player. I mean, everybody in the school like looked up to him when it came to brass playing because he was that insane. He was so insane. And he gave me personal lessons. Like he was my tutor, my trumpet tutor. So anyone doesn't know, I was a music major before I switched to just education major. I switched majors in college. So I started off like majoring in trumpet basically, before I switched over. So he was my my tutor, my private lessons guy. And I remember one day we were just talking. He was like, dang, how is it like being in like the marching band? And I was like, it's okay. And he was like, is the first trumpet music giving you any trouble? I was like, first trumpet? What do you mean by that? And he was like, oh, okay, so they put you on second. I was like, second? No, sir, they put me on third trumpet. He was like, they put you on third trumpet? And I was like, yeah, they said because I was a quiet player, like I didn't play as loud as the other guys, they wanted me on third. And he's like, pardon my language, but that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I I was like, that's crazy. It literally happened my entire life. Middle school, high school, and like middle school, high school, and college, getting put as like the lowest of the lowest parts in school, when like the people who are like actually like really like talented and like people respect and looked up, or like looked up to them, were like, no, you shouldn't be there. It was a whole thing. Good workers get the worst jobs, I guess. How much of a people pleaser are you? And is my thoughts I got from that story. I mean, what can you do about that though? Like, I can't. It doesn't matter whether you like fuss at them, they're not going to move you from that part. Like, I can sit there and go, I want to be on first trumpet, but that's just going to come off as like conceited, you know what I mean? Welcome to the puppy parade, Willow, because I wasn't the only person in the same boat. Kotaru had a very similar story, not with like trumpet, but he wanted to be drum major in high school, but because he was so good as a brass player, the band director literally refused to put him. The band director literally refused to make him a drum major, even though he was the best candidate they had. He was really like, he was a good drum major, but they didn't want to do that because they're like, well, we need you on trumpet. We need you on the brass instrument section. And it didn't matter. Like, and Kotaru is loud. He's louder than me, right? I'm quiet. I like to stay in the background. Kotaru is not like that. He literally put up a fight. He was like, no, I don't want to do that. And the band director was like, well, I'm not making you drum major, so like, it doesn't matter how much you kick and scream and fight for that. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, the band director is the teacher, and what they say goes. You know what I mean? You can fuss at it all day, but like, all fussing is really gonna do is just make the people around you think you're a bad person. Uh-oh, my phone's dying. Don't do that, phone. I need you. I need you. I need you. Oop, there we go. It was crazy. Cyan is a side character type. I kind of am, low key. I like to stay in the background. I don't like to be noticed. Your personalities shine through your instrument when you play. Part of the reason why I was so quiet was because I'm a shyer person. I'm really shy. I know it sounds crazy hearing that from like the top tier yapper about how shy I am, but literally yesterday Kotaru met up with his friends, and when he's with his friends, I don't speak. I literally become mute. Anytime he meets up with his friends, and he's like, oh hey, I'm sure you guys have met my girly friend, I guess fiance now. I guess you guys have met my fiance, right? This is Cyan. And I'm like, and I do like a quiet wave. And that's it. I don't speak to them at all. If they speak to me, I will respond back. But unless somebody is like directing like something directly towards me, I don't talk. I don't talk. Whenever Kotaru is with his friends, I don't talk. I know it sounds weird coming from like the biggest yapper, but I'm only a yapper because I have a model in front of me, and I'm like, you can't see my face. I am shy. I am very shy. I'm extremely shy. So yes, I guess you could say I'm an NPC and a side character, which I used to be really unhappy about. Like, I used to wish that I was louder than I was, but over time I realized being an NPC ain't that bad, you know. And I'm in the workforce now. Like, I have a job now, and having a job, I argue it's probably best if you're just a background character when you have a job, because the more you do, the more they try to work you and they won't pay you more for it. I do the bare minimum for my job. I was in the band at middle school and I got stuck with tuba, with the oldest tuba, and with the oldest tuba. God, I can't read. So I had to make sure it didn't get any more damage done to it. Yeah, it's valid. I mean, bands always like tend to have like all these hand-me-down instruments, unless you went to like a rich people school, because instruments cost a lot of money. Shy, do you have any other good jobs? It's hard. Yeah, I'm sure Kotaru's friends probably either think I'm really crazy or really weird, because I do not speak. I don't. It's just like I want to say this is about the third or fourth time that I've been around while he was with his friends, and I just didn't say anything. We'd all be standing in a circle and then talking, and I'd just be like rocking back and forth, looking around, looking at the ceiling. Oh man, that sky do be blue today, you know, like everything. Because I don't talk. I literally just stand behind him and stare. So, you know, side characters have a more chill life for the most. They do. They have a more chill life. I used to regret being a side character growing up, but I'm kind of glad I did it. You know, I'm kind of glad I am one, because you try to not be a side character when you're employed in a job that doesn't give raises and promotions. You gonna waste time. That's what you gonna do. At my job, the people with the loudest, I'm a teacher, and my job, the people with the loudest voices become team leads or in charge of this event, in charge of that event. Do they get paid more? No. But now you have to stay after school until like 6 p.m. And they'd be like, but it's for the children, bro. It ain't for nothing. I'm going home. You can pay me to work with the children. That's an option, so. I wish I had a job, but yeah, being side character in work is good for most workplaces. Yeah, it's them go-getters. Them go-getters who are always, you know, trying to strive for the top and the highest stuff in high school and college are really paying for that stuff now that they're employed. They're really paying for it. They be asking my coworkers to do some crazy stuff. I literally tell them, like, if I was you, I would have either said no or just not open my mouth one time. I think I opened my mouth one time today and this year and suggested something, and they tried to make me in charge of it, and I was like, yep. So I've learned not to suggest things ever again. I was just throwing out the idea that we should do this. This would be fun to do with the kids, and they were like, okay, then do it, Cyan. Do it. Get it all planned out. Call these people. I tell them what time they can come in here. Talk to admin to make sure. I was like, no, please don't make me in charge. This is too scary. You have been blessed with the Great Western Railway. Thank you. I am happy to not offer too much in the workplace. To be honest, I miss the time I had a job. You miss having a job? Why? Why would you miss having a job? I like being unemployed for the summer. It's very nice. I do have to start working again in about less than a month for now. So that sucks. That's when you'll see my stream times move from 11 a.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. So I'm very sorry if you're in Europe, but I will be employed. So I won't be able to stream in the morning anymore. I don't get income from anywhere and I have bills to pay. Yeah, that's true. Having a job is fun for monetary things. It is. 7 p.m. sounds like a pain. I mean, I have to stream at 7 p.m. when I'm working. Simply because I get off work. I get off work at 3:30 and I get home, I want to say around 4. And when I get home, I want like time to like take a nap and eat and take care of like going to the store if I have to. That's why I try to schedule a few hours from when I get off, so I have time to like settle down and relax and vibe and exist, you know. that makes life a lot easier, you know. 1845, bro. I don't. 1845. That's 6. That's 6:45. That's 6. I gotta do math. It's just 2 a.m. Oh well, I'm probably gonna be awake by then anyways. Yeah, I just like to stream whenever I have the option. I try to stream early because I do have a lot of people in Europe who watch me. It's always been like that since I first started streaming. I had a lot of people from like Germany who used to watch me. I had a lot of German viewers. It's because I was in a VTuber. This is because I was in a VTuber group a few years ago, and they were like Germany based. Like I think it was like me and one other person who were in like America, and the rest of the members were like in Europe, and the main like membered people were in Germany. So I gained like a pretty strong European like following from that a while ago, and it stuck. It stuck since then. Now I have a lot of people who watch me from Europe, which is why I try my best to stream early from my time when I can, but I can't do that when I have a job, when I'm a teacher, because I literally have to wake up. I had to be at work by 7:15. a.m. and I don't get off until 3:30. So like there's no like good streaming time for my Europe friends. Um, unless I stream like extremely late at like maybe like midnight because they might be waking up by then. But I thought I was part German. Now I know I'm Irish. Oh. Oh, but yeah, guys, I didn't show you the story about why I didn't like college band though. I just told you the part about me being stuck on like third trumpet my whole life because of unfortunate circumstances. I want to say just people not, I don't know, unfortunate circumstances. But I didn't like my college band, so I dropped out of college band 2 years in. And it was because of how people in the band were treated that I didn't like it. I played trumpet, and my freshman and sophomore year of college, those are the 2 years I marched. The trumpet section like really struggled heavily. There weren't many of like the band had shrunk like significantly those few years. There weren't many trumpets left in the section. I think my like freshman year there were like maybe like 10 or 11, and then by my next year, my sophomore year, we were down to like shoot, there was like 7 of us, but like some of us were like sick or like had other obligations all the time, to where most performances there were only like 4 or 5 of us. And when you're in a band of like 100 or more members and you only have 5 trumpets, it can be a problem. The instrumentation is really bad. We get drowned out. But as a result, like good band directors, what they do is if they notice that one section is weaker than another, you kind of have to adapt to that. You have to be like, okay, we only have 5 trumpets in a band of like 100 members. We're gonna play less songs where like the trumpets are carrying the melody or something. We had a huge like repertoire of songs that we've like rotated between. And there were quite a few songs where like maybe the trombones had the melody, maybe even the clarinets had the melody, the woodwinds had the melody, you know what I mean? There was plenty of songs like that. But for some reason they chose not to do that. So we had, my sophomore year, we had like 5 trumpet players who would show up, I want to say, to most performances. There's 8, but only like 5 would show up. Sometimes less. And they were still insistent on playing like songs with trumpet fanfares, or like the trumpet's the main melody, trumpet this, everybody has to get quiet so we can hear the trumpets. And if you can imagine, that was a total fail. But what it resulted in was people just being really, really, really mean to anybody who played trumpet. Like extremely mean. You would go sit in the, like, you walk in the band room and sit down and like, oh, the trumpet player's here. And you'd be like, dude, what'd I do? Like, I just walked in. Or like, we had a band group chat and they would make polls all the time. Oh, whose section is the worst? Which section plays the worst? And obviously trumpets got picked because there weren't many of us. Like, they were just like really mean to us as a section because there weren't that many of us. Every time we were in band practice, like, they would like heckle at the trumpets, like, oh man, there goes trumpets again, messing up, man, they all suck, why are they even in the band, man, these trumpets suck, I can't believe they even like playing stuff, like it was a whole thing. That contributed to me leaving. But also contributed to it was I was in an HBCU, and I don't know if anyone's ever watched like Drumline. But there is a culture that is in HBCU bands of like crabbing, where like your freshman year you are considered a quote unquote crab, and that year is usually what's supposed to happen. I want to say what's supposed to happen your freshman year when you're crabbing in an HBCU band is the upperclassmen. So anyone sophomore, junior, senior, anyone, they're supposed to be like a lot tough. They're supposed to be tougher on you, a lot harder on you. You're constantly, you get punished for little things, and you're supposed to like do like push-ups. We gotta get these guys into shape. They're new in the band. We gotta make them work to earn their spot in the band. So like you're gonna have to do running laps. You're gonna have to do push-ups. We gotta get you up to speed with everybody else, you know. So like when you're crabbing your freshman year, you have like strict rules you're supposed to follow, and you're supposed to like work super hard, a lot harder than everyone else, to get you up to speed. And it's also supposed to be a respect thing. Like you're also supposed to like, the upperclassmen are supposed to like earn your respect during that time frame too, because they're spending all this time working with you, training you up. You know, it's like a big training arc basically is what crabbing is supposed to be. Um, but what it really turns into is just people being mean to you because you're a freshman. So like it wasn't like, oh my god, she messed up, get down and give me like 20 push-ups. That's one thing. You know, that's something I actually don't mind. I don't mind that concept. But what it turned into was like, oh my gosh, these people are trash. You know what? You go and do 10 push-ups just for being trash. And like, you know, like they just wouldn't give you a reason sometimes. They'd be like, just like, no, I don't like looking at you guys today. You're just going to do some push-ups. And then it'd be like, dude, why? I don't know. People were just like really mean. Like they would make a lot of mean comments to like you as a specific person, as a player. Oh man, she can't even like hold her horn the right way. Oh man, she sucks. She's terrible. Man, I bet she can't even play nothing. You know what I mean? Like they were just like mean just to be mean. And a lot of it was trying to show off too, because like section leaders are quote unquote supposed to like reel in the crabs, you know. They're supposed to be in charge of reeling in the freshmen. So whenever like something goes wrong, the section leader actually gets blamed, and they'll like bully the section leader until the section leader bullies the freshman. So we would have like weird punishments for really small things, and it would be stuff that like the entire band would do, like like everybody, whether it could be like the entire, like all the other freshmen, every other section is doing it, but suddenly we wanted to do the same thing that everyone else is doing because you're supposed to, you know, uniformity, we're a band. But for some reason when we did it, it was a no-no. So nope, now you're in trouble. Now you're going to have to meet with us at XYZ time at XYZ location, and we're going to do some extra stuff, you know. Like it was it was literally just this basic bullet. And some people were just like straight up mean, like I said, they were mean. They would come to you about like your, I mentioned like they mean to you about your playability, but some of them were like just mean about your like character, like as a whole. Like they'd literally just be like, oh man, you're annoying. I don't even want you to band. Why are you in the band? You're annoying. You know, like they were just mean to be mean, but they would disguise it as we're trying to help you as a freshman. And there was no help happening. It was literally just people being mean just to be mean. Help is like, oh man, you know, she's supposed to know this part and she doesn't. Give me 10 push-ups. Okay, now we're gonna go over the music together, you know, so that you can get it, you know. That's one thing. But being like, man, I don't like how you sound today. Give me 10 push-ups. I don't even look at your face today. Get out of the room and give me 10 push-ups. Like, that's what it turned into, and it was really annoying. Our band had an electric guitarist, but most hilarious was the kid. They refused to transfer out of band and didn't want to be there. So out of revenge, he bought a bagpipe. Oh, dude. That's funny. Not a bagpipe in the band. I can't even imagine what that would sound like. But yeah, that was part of it. So like people just being mean, like just to be mean, was like huge. And also like just people just like being mean just because you were in a section was also like a huge thing that I experienced. But I think the thing that like really pushed me over the edge, right, that like caused me to leave and not really want to come back was I started getting like injured, right? My knees started hurting a lot, and I noticed that. And I remember coming to people saying, I need to sit out. Like my knees are really hurting. This was back when I was like really underweight, mind you. Like I mentioned earlier in stream that I was underweight. I was really underweight. I wasn't eating a lot at the time, like I should have been. For some reason, I really don't know why, but I wasn't eating a lot, so I didn't have a lot of energy. I wasn't very nourished the way I should have been. Which resulted in me having to pretty much sit out a lot. You know, if you don't, hi Goliath, if you don't eat like you're supposed to do, you're gonna get super tired. Hi Asher Stuck. I'm talking about why I quit the marching band and my little stories about it. But what pushed me over the edge my sophomore year was I started getting injured because, you know, I was underweight. I wasn't eating a lot in the first place. So I had to sit out a lot. I was like out of breath all the time. I was like tired. I always felt like I was about to pass out because I was like working more than I had the energy to because I wasn't eating enough. I was not eating enough. So what ended up happening was there's like a few days in a row and I said, man, my knees really hurt. I think I need to sit out. My knees hurt. And my section leader like went off on me. He was like, you're always sitting out. Why are you always sitting out? And I'm like, well, because I don't feel good a lot and like my knees hurt. And he was like, yeah, well, I don't care your knees hurt because everybody's knees hurt. You see all of us marching, all of our knees hurt. No, you're not going to sit out today. And I was like, but like something's wrong. Like I genuinely think something's wrong. And he's like, nothing's wrong. You're just a baby. You're just a little wimp. Always sitting out for nothing. You don't even need to sit out. You know, you're just a wimp. And I was like angry, but you know, I held it in. It's whatever. That's what you do in a band. If you talk back to a section leader when you're a freshman like that, you are going to end up with the entire band like going off on you. It's like terrible. So I decided, I was like, fine, I'll just stick it out and I'll march. And I marched because they told me not to. It wasn't even just my section leader, there's multiple people in my section. All the upperclassmen, yeah, man, you're just a wimp. You're always sitting down because you can't handle nothing. She can't handle nothing. Don't let her sit out again. She can't handle nothing. She can't be in the band. She can't handle nothing. And so I didn't sit out and I marched. And you know what happened? You know what happened? My knee, it swelled up. That day that I complained about my knee hurting a lot, we marched to the stadium to practice, and my knee swelled all the way up. And it took a little bit for it to start swelling, but I remember I started to struggle, like slowly struggle to bend it, and the pain was getting worse and worse. And I was like, guys, I think I really need to send out. Like my knees are like really hurting, and they were like, no, your knees don't hurt. You're just being a wimp. And I was like, okay, fine. So I kept marching, which obviously was making it worse, until eventually I just rolled my eyes and I walked off the sideline and I sat there. And when I tell you the facial expression, the mean mug my section leader gave me because I sat out, good night, Cruz, man. Because I sat out. I sat on the side and I propped my leg up on like a little bench they had. And I sat there. And they were like, I can't believe shit. I literally could hear them complaining about me. Like the entire section was talking trash about me. Other sections like, there she goes again. There she goes sitting out again. This girl always sitting out, a little witten girl. You know, everyone was like talking real bad about me. I could hear them. And then throughout the duration of me sitting there, my knee was like swelling, like actively swelling and getting worse and worse and like bigger and bigger. And it got to the point where I couldn't really walk anymore because it was so swollen. If your knee swells, you can't bend it anymore because there's so much fluid built up in there's so much fluid built up around it. You can't bend it at all, right? Like the fluid literally blocks your knee from bending. So I couldn't bend it anymore. Like I was like hobbling like really badly. And then they tried to accuse me of faking it. Like my section, they were like, man, you ain't even that hurt. Why are you limping? You weren't limping 30 minutes ago, so why are you limping now? You're being dramatic. I can't believe she's limping like that. Like come on now. Stop being dramatic to get attention, okay? And I was like super upset at this point because I was like, I'm not limping, like it hurts really bad. I can't bend my leg really well. And so all that happened, and I think I just stuck it out. I mean, we didn't like march anymore that day. We like sat in the band room and we like played our instruments. And that's the extent of it. So the next day comes and I immediately go to the health center on campus. They look at it, they're like, oh my God, yeah, your knee is swollen, like really, really swollen. So they put me on so they gave me a crutch. They like, hey, you can use our crutch, you know, it's free, it's like under your tuition or whatever. Here's our little crutch. And they like gave me a knee brace and like I wrapped up my knee and everything. And it's funny because I came into the band room the next day, right? The previous day everyone's being mean, saying I was faking and bullying me because I said my knee hurts. I come into the band room literally the next day, and suddenly everyone's demeanor changed. They're like, oh, wait, why are you on a crutch? Are you okay? What happened? And everyone was like surrounding me like, are you okay? What happened? Why are you on a crutch? Can you walk? Are you okay? And when I tell you I was angry, I was so like, I get angry just talking about it. Like I can't hear tell I don't know if you can tell it in my tone of voice, but I'm like angry just like talking about it. Like they switched up so fast. I walked in that room and suddenly everybody cared. You know, suddenly these same people who were accusing me of faking my injury and no, you can't sit out, blah blah. These same people the next day they were like, oh my god, are you okay? What happened? And then the section leader, he refused to let me sit out to cover himself. He, in front of everybody, was like, "Oh, come on! I told you to sit out. You were telling me that your knee hurt, and I kept telling you to sit down, and you wouldn't listen, right, guys? Guys, I kept telling her to sit out, and she wouldn't listen." Oh, bro, I was like beyond it. I feel like a few people are like that. That's the thing. It was the whole band. Like it wasn't just one person. I mean, it's a section leader who essentially makes the call, but it was the entire band who was like hyperligamy and stuff. Oh, welcome back, Meta. I'm like mid-story right now. I'm talking about how everybody, when I was in the band, I was complaining about knee problems and everybody like kept telling me I was faking my knee issues until I literally showed up with the crutch the next day. And then suddenly their demeanors changed and everybody was like, oh my God, are you okay? Which this also sparked a debate, right? First of all, I want to say I went home and I cried that day. And it wasn't because like I was on a crutch or anything or because of how mean people were. I cried because that was the weekend. I was actually marching really hard and trying my best that entire week because that was the weekend that my band was going to come to my city. And I know, Panda. I'm gonna get to it when I'm like done ranting. I saw it. I cried that weekend because it was the weekend that my band was finally going to perform in my hometown. And my entire family had bought tickets to see me perform. But because they refused to allow me to sit out and everybody was like being mean about it and stuff, and I ended up on this crutch, I couldn't march anymore. So my whole family was going to see me march. Mind you, this was the first time. My parents, my siblings had never seen me march before. This was going to be, like I marched in band for 6 years. And this was going to be the first time they had ever saw me march. So I was like super excited. I was practicing my hardest. I wanted everything to be perfect. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna snap this. And I was like practicing as hard as I could. And then I got on a crutch because they wouldn't let me sit out. And I was so angry. That was the moment I started to actively like despise the band. And while I was on a crutch, and I also like I couldn't really march and anything. Some of the people tried to tell me to march anyways. I'm literally on a crutch. I can't bend my knee. I literally had to get my roommate to help me put pants on in the mornings because I couldn't bend my knee. Do you know how to put pants on when you can't bend your leg? It's almost impossible. I literally had to get my roommate to help me get dressed in the morning because I could not bend my knee. And they were still trying to, oh, hi, Cupcake, thanks for stopping by. And they were still trying to tell me to march. But you know what they did? One person sprayed icy hot on my knee, and they said, you should be good to go. When I tell you I wanted to punch her in the face. Listen, I don't condone violence, but oh my God. I was so bad. Which then also triggered another debate. Because remember how I mentioned the crabbing thing? Your freshman year, you were considered a quote-unquote crab, so they're like a lot meaner to you and a lot tougher to you in an HBCU band your freshman year. And then after you like passed your freshman year, then you're not a crab anymore, so they're like nicer to you or whatever. That's how it goes. Like they're just mean for you the freshman year. They tried to tell me that I would have to be a crab again the next year because it's our tradition that you go from being a crab to like an actual like band person, like an upperclassman band person. The tradition is like it's during this like one parade we do. Like once this parade is over, you're like supposed to be officially a band member and you're no longer like a part of the little crabbing thing that they got going on. Well, guess what? Well, guess what? I can't march in a parade if I'm on a crutch. So that sparked another debate because they were like, nah, man, we can't let we gonna bully her again the next year and make her a crab another year, the next year because she's on a crutch. She can't march in that parade. If she can't march in the parade, she can't pass. Like she can't go from being a crab to a bands person, you know. And that oh, I remember like in the band room, it was really awkward because they were like that drama happened like on band day, which band if you don't know band day is a day. Welcome to the Puppy Parade Cupcakes. Band day is a day where high schoolers come and they like check out they scope out the band and they play like they get a chance to play with you, and it's like a really fun thing for high schoolers to sit in on a college band. When I tell you that drama happened while the high schoolers were in the band room watching, like how is that a good look for the band? I literally was in there crying while the high schoolers were in there. It was really awkward, and the band director was looking at me because he knew what was going on, but he couldn't really do anything about it because, again, like I said, we had a bunch of like high schoolers watching. It was so awkward, but I was like so angry about that. I was so angry about that. That happened my freshman year. And then come sophomore year, someone asked if I know what happened. So the reason my knee was swelling was because, again, like I said, I was super underweight at the time, and I was pretty malnourished because I wasn't eating the way I was supposed to. So I wasn't eating enough, combined with being underweight, combined with strenuous activity. It's a really bad combination. So my knee was swelling because in order to do like high stepping band, because remember high stepping is high knees, you're doing high knees for hours. When you do high knees, you are like drilling your foot into the ground. Okay, you're drilling your foot into the ground with each step. You're stomping, basically. You're stomping for hours. In order to stomp for hours, you need to have the leg muscle to deal with it. And mind you, I'm this scrawny little 90-pound, 5'3" girl at the time. Really, like, I didn't even have weight on me. So you can already imagine that I didn't have much muscle on me. If you don't have leg muscles to like support your knee, what basically was happening is every single time my foot hit the ground when I was marching, the shock from like my foot like hitting the ground goes straight to your knee. If you have muscle in your calves, if you have muscle in your thigh, if you have any leg muscle at all, what happens is that muscles, hi H-Drones, what happens is that muscles absorb the shocks. It absorbs the shocks of you like stomping your foot down. Because I didn't have muscles there, it literally just all went to my knee. So I was kind of like slowly shattering my knee, I guess you could say. And my knee swelling was like a mechanism of the knee to prevent that from happening, basically. So I was basically beating up my knee every time I went to march, and my knee had to swell to prevent like actual damage from happening to the knee. Like it was basically like, nope, this knee is not going to move at all. It's going to stay still in this one spot so that our knee can heal up, so it can spend time healing up. Hi, Blitzy, Yellow Mellow. Being malnourished also damages collagen production, which can keep the joints healthy. Yep, that too. So, also, all right, I'm done my rant. Well, actually, I'm not done my rant, but I'm having a rant intermission. So, Panda, I can give you your compliments. Panda, I think you are such a hard worker. You're such a hard worker, Bean. I really do. Every time you're telling me about all the little different jobs you're working and stuff, I'm like, man, this man works hard. He's a hard-working man. Not like me, though. I don't be working hard. I don't be doing nothing. Shoot. I just want to give Cyan a hug. Oh, and the worst part about being on a crutch, mind you, and not being able to, so mind you, it was almost like the band people's fault for that I was on the crutch because they wouldn't let me sit out when I told them I like felt like I really need to sit out. So the worst part about the crutch issue, they wouldn't let me sit out, so I ended up with my swollen knee. And then they were mean to me about that, like, oh no, we're gonna be mean to you next year because you're not gonna pass being a crab. And then so they would take my crutch. They thought it would be funny. They thought it was funny. I had multiple people who would just snatch my crutch and run away with it. And when I tell you, I was so angry about that. And they were like, lighten up, it's funny, ha ha. But when I would try to get up to retrieve my crutch, everyone would get mad at me. Like literally someone would take my crutch, run with it, and then put it down on the other side of the room. But mind you, my knee is swollen. I'm not crippled. I'm not in like, it hurts, but like I'm not in like, it's not dangerous. Having your knee swell is not dangerous. It's not gonna break my leg if I walk. It's just gonna hurt. It's just gonna hurt, but it's not gonna break my leg. So I would literally stand up and I would start like hobbling my way over there. And then everyone would get mad. No, Cyan, no. Why are you getting up to get the crutch? You're not supposed to get up. And I'm like, so you gonna get mad at me for going to retrieve the crutch when you're not helping me to get the crutch back? Like it was a lot. I like when I tell you, like when I start ranting about the band, I don't stop. This is why. Like there was so much that happened that made it. And also once my knee swelled once, it's prone to swelling again. Like it becomes irritated, which means as a result I had to sit out even more than I was before because my body just could not handle it anymore. Why would anyone do that? Because I thought it was funny. It's funny. So you didn't mess with the synval fluid, right? I did. I went to the doctor and I had it drained. I got the fluid in my knee drained. They had told me that you could wait it out or you can get like the fluid drained. If you wait it out, it could take 3, 4, 5, 6 months. When's the next ad break? In 5 minutes. If you wait it out, it can take 3, 4, 5, 6 months to heal, or you can get your like the fluid drained and it will take like a month, sometimes less than a month to heal. So I did go get the fluid drained, but like that's only part of the story because the next year I tried to march again that sophomore year, my next year. But because my knee had already had that one incident, now it was like my knee was constantly like swelling and inflamed all the time. So I had to sit out like they were mad at me sitting out a little bit my first year. Now I had to sit out twice as much. Actually, before I quit the band, I stopped coming to performances. I did. There was a time where I just didn't want to show up anymore before I like officially quit. Because what happened is I'd tell the band staff, hey, welcome to the Puppy Parade Maverick. Hey, I can feel my knee getting inflamed again. I can feel that it's starting to swell again. I think I need to sit out because I don't want to end up in a crutch again. I gotta be very clear. You know, you guys saw me. I was in a crutch last year because you guys wouldn't let me sit out. I'm making it clear again. My knee is hurting. It's literally inflamed. I can feel the heat. Touch right here. You can feel the heat. It's inflamed. It's going to swell again if I push it. I was very clear with them. And still, they would say, no, you're not sitting out. No, I won't allow that. No, you're not going to sit out. You're not going to sit out for this practice. You're not going to sit out for this performance. Because some of the performances, I'm like, my knee is really acting up right now. Like, I cannot perform like this. Can I, like, sit on the sidelines and play or something? They'd be like, no, you're going to march. You are going to march. So then I just didn't show up. I just thought, you know why? Because band was not a class on my schedule. In college, I took 21 credit hours every semester. I did. I switched majors, so I had to catch up. So I took 21 credit hours every semester, so band was not on my schedule. So at some point, I realized I had free will. I was like, they can't do anything. They can't, like, give me a bad grade. I gave up my scholarship my freshman year. Like, I literally was like, I don't want your scholarship anymore. I gave up my scholarship. There's more into it about why I gave up my band scholarship. But I wasn't on scholarship anymore with them. So that they didn't really have anything keeping me there. So I literally was just like, well, okay, well, I'm telling you that my knee hurt and I need to sit out, so I'm going to sit out. And they're like, no, you're not. And I was like, okay. So since they wouldn't let me sit on like the sidelines or something, I would just like not show up to performances. I just skip performances. And then they come back, where were you? Why weren't you there? And I was like, I told you that like my knee was like acting up. I told you I'm not gonna be there. Like it was bad. Like when I tell you my old band was like atrocious, it's why I don't shut up about it. It's why when I start talking about band, and I start complaining about band, the complaints last for such a long time because there was so much that happened. So much that happened. I don't rep that school. I don't rep that band. I like playing music, but I don't associate with that band. I really don't. I really don't. I feel like if I ever like achieve something good in life, like if like I ever get like a super power, like big award for like being like a teacher or something, like oh like a super teacher award, I feel like they're gonna try to come back and be like, yeah, she was in our band, she went to our school. I don't rep that band at all. I would never. Not with the way they were acting. They were really mean about it. I'm lucky to be bad at playing. They kicked me out. Oh no. Alright guys, there will be an ad break in 30 seconds. During that time, we'll take a little breaky break. I'm gonna take a sippy sip of my water and go to the bathroom. And I think I'm out of band stories. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about band stories. I'm sure there's a lot more. Oh wait, no, I can think about something. I could tell you about how like the specific sections were as a whole in that band. I tell you that whole band was like a dumpster fire. Alright, I got more band stories. We can talk about band stuff today. Alright guys, we're gonna do a 3-minute break. 3 minutes. I will see you guys in 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutos for more band talks. Boops. Hey y'all! Since we've been talking about band things, I literally wrote down during that be right back screen of 3 minutes, I wrote down some of the things that I remembered. That I was like, I wonder if these would make interesting topics. Let me read you what I wrote down that I also remembered about the band being goofy. Goofy eye band. Um, they would schedule performances without telling everybody. They would like without telling anybody. Like you literally be in the band room, and they'd be like, tomorrow, and you're like, huh? They're like, yeah, tomorrow we're going to be performing. You have to meet here at 9 a.m. and and you won't get back home until like midnight, like the day before. Another important thing that I remembered too about that band, the whole band was failing their classes. It was funny because we had a special trip planned. Thank you for the welcome back. We had a special trip planned. We were going to go to not Myrtle Beach, that's the wrong beach. I have like 4 beaches in my brain that are like on rotation. Not Myrtle Beach. It was Daytona Beach. That's further south, right? We were going to go to Daytona, right? That's the one in Florida, right? Let me make sure I'm getting my beaches correctly. I believe it was Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach. City in Florida. Yeah, okay. Sorry, let me make sure I'm getting my beach facts correct. All right, we were going to go to Daytona Beach as a trip in the band, right? And you know, a lot of the people of the band were like not doing well academically. So the band made that their incentive because the band, fun fact, the band loses funding depending on how like the students perform because it's an extracurricular and the school is not going to the school is not going to put funds towards an extracurricular if the people in those areas are like underperforming, right? So this band was losing funding because the people were not like doing well. So they said, we're going to go to Daytona Beach, Florida. Okay, we're going to go to Daytona Beach as a vacation. Not a vacation, but like I think our school went to play against them, like another school in Florida, and Daytona Beach was like real close. So we were gonna stay in the hotel basically on the beach. And they like were gonna give us like stipend money and everything to spend. So we were given like I want to say like $70 each to go spend on like the beach, and we had like a full day to just hang out there. It was really fun. I loved it. But leading up to that moment, they said, because you guys are not performing very well academically, what we're gonna do is if you need to have all C's and above. Hi, Ryan. You need to have all C's or above in order to go on this trip to Daytona Beach, right? You have to have all C's and above. Remember that, guys. All C's and above. You cannot have a D in any class. You can't have an F in any class. You just need to have C's or higher. They said we will be taking all band members that have C's or higher to go on this trip. Do you know what the results came back when the grades dropped? You want to know what the results were? My band consisted of we're like around 100. I can't remember if we were a little over or a little under 100, but we were around 100 members, we'll say. All you had to do was get C's in every class or higher. At 100 people, there was only 5 people who met the requirements. There were only, at 100 people in the band, only 5 people were passing every single class of theirs. 5 people were passing every single class of theirs. It came to the point where the band director came in there and he screamed at the band. He was like, if I were to only take the people who got good grade, who are passing their class to go on this trip, we wouldn't even have a band. There would just be 5 people, and most of them are trumpets. There would be 3 trumpets and like a saxophone. There would be like 3 trumpets and a saxophone and like a mellophone. That's all we'd have. And I was like, oh my God, it was bad. And because of that, the entire band just went on the trip anyways, because they were like, we can't just take the people who had good grades, because then we wouldn't have a band to take with us. It was bad. And you know what's funny? I knew exactly who the people who were passing the classes were because I was in the honors program, and there was about 5 people who had all passing classes. Guess how many people were in the honors program in my band? 5. So so I knew exactly who the people who were passing were because we were in the honors program. We had to pass. If they did not pass their classes, then they wouldn't be in the honors program and they would lose all their scholarship and funding. So I knew exactly who those people were. We literally, think it back, who was in the honors program at the time? It would have been 3 trumpets, a trombone, and a euphonium. 3 trumpets, a trombone, and euphonium. Is that right? Is there anyone else? And a flute. That's 6. She was also in honors. Yep, that would have been our band. That 100% would have been our band. It was that bad. When I tell you, like, that band was bad in, like, more ways than one. That whole band program was just a detriment to, like, the existence of a school, bro. They really should just shut that thing down. How you end up with all, like, the organization? How you end up with the organization of only people failing classes? I don't understand that. Daytona is one of the worst beaches in Florida. So I'm on the East Coast. I've been to a few beaches. I haven't been to many. I've been to Daytona Beach. I've been to Myrtle Beach, and I've been to Virginia Beach. All of those beaches are different from each other in a lot of different ways. A lot of them are like different, like just because of the sand consistency is different. If I remember correctly, Myrtle Beach is the dirtiest looking one out of all. That's all 3 of the ones I've been to. I remember Daytona Beach. We need the band doggo, okay. I remember Daytona Beach being like, at least the sand was like super soft. I was like really impressed with the sand. It was like clear. It was like white. It felt like silky to touch almost, and it like would like slide right out of your hand. Compared to like, let's say like Virginia Beach or Myrtle Beach, where like the sand was mixed with dirt a lot more in those beaches. I want to say like I would say that Myrtle Beach out of those 3 were like the dirtiest. That one's like all dirt. Myrtle Beach for the last. It's been a few years since I've been though, so I don't quote me on it now, bro. But at the time, it was all dirt. It was all dirt and like 2% sand. So I don't know. And then Virginia Beach is in the middle. It's like some dirt and some sand, basically. That thicker brown sand, but yeah, the band they were not doing too hot, man. It was so bad. In the band, we also had an issue with sections doing walkouts. So in my band in college, my freshman year, it was a new band director. I just got into the school, so I didn't know what the previous band director was like. But in order for this new band director to like, or I guess he tried to earn like the respect of the students, but he went really like, he was really bad at doing that. Like his way of trying to earn respect from the students was like yelling at them. Like he would literally like yell at them like a ton, like really badly. And as a result, sections started protesting against the band director. They literally started protesting. So, mind you, before we got a band director, right? Because there was a time period there wasn't a band director, so the assistant band director took over, right? Which he didn't want to be a band director. He just had that title because the school needed him to have that title. He really just liked doing he was the one who I said gave me the private trumpet lessons and like really wanted me to be on like first trumpet and stuff. And that like the really good person that everybody looked up to, like the whole school, all the band people looked up to him. He was the assistant band director. So there was a time period where we didn't have a band director. So he was in charge. For I want to say about 3 weeks, he took over the band program at my college. And during that week, it was very nice because the way he functions is like, he doesn't like to waste time. So if you get if you go over all the parts that he wanted to go over correctly if you do it correctly and you do it well, he goes, okay, well, we did everything we set out to do today. Go home. Yep. Go back. Go to your dorm rooms. Go home. Like he wouldn't waste time, and it was amazing. Like we all really appreciated him for that. He gave us tons of like water breaks and stuff. Whereas like our other band director, the new one who came, you get like one water break every like 3 hours. This band director, no, he gave us constant water breaks. He didn't waste time. We need to work on this section now. Okay, this sounded good actually. Can we make it sound good again? Oh, what about 3 times? Can we sound good 3 times? Wow, y'all played that good 3 times in a row. Y'all understand this section now. Okay, bye. So everyone loved him, right? Because he was strict when he needed to be. Everybody respected him. So there was never any talk back. Everybody was quiet. As soon as he'd open his mouth, he was quiet. Everyone was quiet. We loved him. And then we got a new band director 3 weeks later who came in and started yelling, causing problems, yelling, loud, being angry all the time, which resulted in sections doing organized walkouts. So the section leader would be like, I don't have to take this. Let's go, guys. And the whole section would leave because what your section leader does, you do. Okay, you follow your section leader. The band director is not the leader of the band, all right? He's just the face of the band. It's the section leaders who are scary. It's the section leaders who will show up to your dorm room, knock, knock, give me 10 push-ups. The band director not gonna do that. The band director don't know where you live, but your section leader sure as heck does. You know, we were a lot worse afraid of our section leaders than we are the band director. So there was multiple times they were just like, I don't like your attitude today. And then the band director would be like, well, I don't like you. And they'd be like, all right, snap, snap, pack it up, boys. We're leaving. And there were so many band practices where we did not have a certain sections because they would just walk away. They would just walk away. They'd just be like, I'm not dealing with this today. We're gonna go. But they wouldn't go walk away and do nothing. No, because we're still a band. They would just walk away and go practice it with their own section in like in a different space. So it wasn't like they were just like leaving. Just be like, man, I don't like you, I'm loud. No, they would go practice, but they would go practice elsewhere away from the band. It was insane. Because some of the walkouts were like really justified though. Like there were days where the band director was just downright being disrespectful to people. Like because when he got angry, he would like come at you as a person sometimes and not as a player, which is an odd thing for a teacher to do, but you know, not all teachers are meant to be teachers. He would literally sometimes come at you as a person and he'd be so mean about it. And that's when the walkouts would happen, when he would be like that. Like for example, the trumpet section, we never walked out, but there was one time we came really close to it because our section leader was correcting something, right? Because in a band, when you have like 100 people, the band director can't see anything. It doesn't matter. The band director sometimes, depending on how power hungry they are, like to pretend like they can see everything, like they're gonna fix everything, but they can't. So that's what the section leaders are for. So I remember one day our section leader was like trying to correct something. He was like, hey, you guys aren't performing like this correctly. You're supposed to be in this spot. I'm looking at the drill sheet right here. You're supposed to be here and you're supposed to be here. So how come you guys are getting like flipping, like getting your spots flipped? How did this happen? And the band director overheard him correcting something and he was like, hey, I need everybody on the field to be quiet when we're practicing. Hi, Nix. To be quiet when we're practicing so I can focus. And he was like, oh, sorry, sir. I was correcting this one issue. See, this section right here, these people, whenever we get to this one drill spot, they always miss their spot. And he was like, I don't care what you're doing. What you're supposed to be doing is shutting up and listen. And he was like, with all due respect, sir, okay, it is important that we get this spot corrected because they did this during our last performance, okay? We can't have this happening at another performance, so I'm trying to fix it. And he was like, what you need, I'm about to kick you out right now. I'm about to kick you out. Like, it was so bad. That was the day that the trumpets came really close for us to do a walkout. We weren't like the section, we never did walkouts. That was mostly like it was mostly the low brass, like the trombones and the euphoniums who would like walk out when the band director like was acting angry like he was. That was the one day that we were like, we all after that, when we had a water break, we all surrounded our section leader and we were like, say the word. Say the word. If you want us to leave, we'll leave. Like, you're such a good boy, H. Johns. That day, I remember that. There was so many things. Wait, there's so many crazy stuff happening in that little band of mine. This little band of mine, I'm gonna let it die because it wasn't good. I think this probably is the first time I've like gone into depth with it about the band stuff on stream. I've talked about it briefly here and there, but I don't think I've ever really like told the full story other than today. So yeah, it's a lot. There was a lot that happened. How am I doing? I'm okay. I'm just yapping. I'm in my element. You know how I am. I'm in my element right now. But this is why I stayed in orchestra. Yeah, you should have stayed in the orchestra. You need to stay in there. Don't leave. Don't leave, please. Don't leave. This is so much. Yeah, we had literally had organized walkouts in the band, bro. It was that bad. There was that day too. It was homecoming day for our band. It's really interesting. I'm glad you guys like this story. It's a really long one, so I know some people's attention spans aren't there to hear like one giant story, but there was that time on homecoming day. You know, homecomings when all the alumni they gear up, they show up, they're ready. You know, the alumni are ready to listen and they play alongside you and stuff. It's the biggest day of the year, right? You gotta be good for the alumni. Because remember, in my band, we had crabbing culture. And remember, in crabbing culture, that means your freshman year, hi Kara, that means your freshman year, they're mean to you. And they are on you. They are on you. Okay, which means homecoming needs to be perfect. Because those alumni will come back. It don't matter who in the band. They will come back and they will bully you. They're either, alumni, either they're really the nicest people on the planet, or people who would literally hurt you. Okay, somebody had their like lips busted because they weren't holding their trumpet up high enough, and the dude literally snatched their trumpet and forced it up in the air really fast, and it busted the person's lip. Did they apologize? No, they were like, that's what you get for not holding your instrument up. Like it's a serious time. Like it's a really scary time for me. Some people who have like friends or like alumni, it's more fun for them, but it's a really stressful time because those alumni will literally like attack you. Like you might end up injured. So what happened here, hold on, I gotta stretch. There was that one homecoming year where the band director was mad, right? He was angry. He was always angry. I mean, I had a nickname for him for being angry all the time. I won't tell y'all, but I did have a name for him for being angry. Just his demeanor, how he acted. He was angry because since it's homecoming, a lot of people do pre-gaming. If you don't know what pre-gaming is, I'm not going to explain it to you. It's not really something I should explain on my channel. People like to pre-game before they join, you know. But that also means that like a lot of people show up late, super late. And the sections do it together. So all the sections get together, they go do stuff, and then they come back. And they which means that entire sections were sometimes late to our like parade block. We were ready, like we were in our parade position, our parade block, ready to march to the stadium. But because all these sections get together and they do stuff together before they join, some of the sections were just not there, right? We were missing the trombone section. And all of the euphoniums, except for the crabs, the freshmen, the crabs, those euphonium crabs and euphonium freshmen weren't there, which tells me that the euphonium section like was hanging out without them, which is really sad. So they showed up just in time, right? The trombone and the euphonium section shows up just in time. They come running in there. All right, we got everything. Come on, hurry up. They're about to go. They run, they make it to the spot. And the band director shows up out of nowhere. And he's like, no, you are not marching and homecoming. And everybody was like, bro was like, because you guys had the audacity to be so late that you almost missed us marching off, you are not going to be in this homecoming performance at all. Go home. And they're like, what? You can't do that. And he's like, I can. I'm the band director. I can do whatever I want with the band. Go home. And it became a whole thing. Like people were ready to like fight this band. He threatened to call the police on them. He was like, I was like, I will literally call the police right now and get you guys escorted out of my band. I do not want you in the band. So they left. And that performance, homecoming, remember when I said that's the big day where the alumni come back and the alumni either really mean or really nice and you might end up getting hurt? Yeah. Yeah, that's the day he decided to send the trombones and the he sent the trombones and the euphoniums home. So we had like no low brass. I mean, we had tubas, but tubas by themselves, you need other instruments to support you. You can't just have a band with just tubas, It was insane. When I tell you the alumni were really upset. They were like, why does the band sound like so bad? Why can't I hear anything? Why are y'all sounding so trash? And we were like, guys, it's not our fault. The band director literally sent away half of the band. Or with the crabs, those two young ones. Crabs are freshmen. Remember, crabs are freshmen. They are like, it's your first year marching. You're a crab, basically. That's top low. I kind of understand the band director there. Yes, I understand, but that's not the correct punishment for the situation. I think that's too low. Yeah, that's not the correct punishment for the situation. I believe that to handle a situation like that, you don't just kick out half the sections and stuff, because that punishes the whole band and it makes everybody look stupid. It makes him look stupid, it makes the band look stupid and sound stupid when we're on the field doing a halftime show and you have half the band missing. It looks dumb. And it was such a big day too because it was homecoming. How should I follow? Of course. Because it was homecoming. I think what the adequate punishment should have been was like maybe afterwards, welcome to the Happy Parade. I'm thinking, because if we mess up in the band, your punishment can be mild to severe. The mild to severe punishments are all like physical activity. They're all physical activity related. A mild punishment would be like 10 push-ups. A severe punishment, which I think if he was going to do that, instead of like literally kicking out half the band, he should have just given them the severe punishment that the other people get when they like, if a section messes up so bad it ruins the whole show, they get a severe punishment. They should have just given them that, right? They messed up so bad they almost didn't even make it to the show, right? The severe punishment was you would have to crab walk from one side of the football field to the other side of the football field until the band director, the marching director dude said otherwise, basically, is what you had to do. I never got the severe punishment because my section never like messed up that bad. Ooh. Messed up that bad. Welcome to the Happy Parade, Frosty Frog. But that was the severe punishment. So I think that that's what they should have done, to be honest. Literally kicking out the whole band just punishes like everybody except it punishes those people, but it literally punishes the whole band, the entire band. Cyan's an awesome person to follow. Yeah. Keep telling people that. Maybe they'll keep following. But I guess he didn't think of something better. Yeah, I mean, he was a really angry guy. I think he only would think of angry things, Only bad thing is there was a guy that used to pee in the bass case. Literally the most disturbing, disgusting thing I've ever seen, touched, smelled, or witnessed. Ew! What be going on in your orchestra? Gross! I will say that, I mean, band has their weird share of things. There was this couple when I was in high school who would go into like the band storage closet. The storage closet with like all the instruments and stuff. It wasn't a very big storage closet. I mean, my school didn't have that much money. It was a pretty narrow one. And you had to like constantly squeeze past people just to like go get your instrument and stuff. And we had this couple in there who would make out like in the storage closet every single opportunity they got. And the band director would constantly yell at them and shoo them out of there. But it wouldn't stop them. Like they would just be, and like I said, it's a narrow thing. So you literally would have to squeeze past these people who are like glued to each other. Be like, excuse me, to reach for your trumpet. It was so awkward. It was only my freshman year because they graduated. They were both seniors, so they both graduated after that. But oh my god, I completely forgot that happened. I really did. It was really gross. Ew, the makeout couples. Listen, makeout couples in high school was a weird epidemic. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, once like you become an adult, you don't do that. But like in high school, like couples would just like make out in the most random spots. Like they would go like there was this one couple who like you'd see them behind the dumpster making out on the way to the buses. And I'd be like, bro, the dumpsters? That's so nasty. Like, why would you do that? Why would you go behind the dumpsters? Who does that? Who does that? The dumpsters. I know it had to smell like poo-boo garbage out there, but that was their spot. They were like, garbage smell. This is the spot right here. I just don't get it. You saw that more at upper elementary? I saw it only in high school. Didn't see it much. I didn't see it at all at elementary. Didn't see it at all in middle school. Although people in middle school talked about stuff like that, but I never actually saw it until I got to high school. Then you just turn a corner. And then they would be. And I'd be like, gross. Our band had those type of people too. They're so weird. It steals a hat? No, don't steal hats though. I mean, if they see that as romantic, who are we to judge? Everybody. I actually think that's something you can judge because public decency, you know? Like, yeah, I mean, it's not illegal to make out in public. It's not a crime. But should you though? Should you? No, I don't think you should. I really don't. It's kind of disturbing to witness, especially when they in your space. It's one thing when they behind the dumpster, you can just look the other way. But when they locking themselves in the band storage room, and you're like, excuse me, I need to get an instrument. Excuse me. Then it's like, bro, I need you to move. I need you to skedaddle, go somewhere. I ain't trying to reach past y'all like this. This is weird. Yeah, if it's in public, you can be judged in public. Yeah, I kind of agree with that statement. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like anything. Like once you bring certain things to the public eye, I feel like it's up for scrutiny at that point because now you're letting everybody see, you're letting the whole world see. You know what I mean? There's certain things that should not break it to public, and I think that's one of them. That's one of them. There's certain things that should not make its way to public. So, been married 15 years, still like to find a secret spot for a few kisses when out and about. It's just fun. Yeah, and I'm not talking like, it's like an every now and then thing. Like, you know, I can see the fun excitement of doing like, you know, making out in like random spots every now and then and whatnot, you know. But I'm talking like the chronic couples, the ones that like you see in the same spot every day. Like that dumpster couple, they were always at the dumpster. The band room people, they were always in the band room, and it was like constant. It wasn't like a one-off, like, oh man, oh look at them, they kissing, oh how cute, and then that's it. No, it was like, bro, move. I think that's the difference. Sharing a moment in different spots is one thing, but like chronically doing that, I need y'all to chill out. I need you to go somewhere. Please. I heard about it, but I don't think I saw it. It's been in the years. As long as it's not excessive. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, it depends on like how excessive it is, I guess you could say. Like, if it's like every now and then you look to like the left and like, oh, there's a couple of it. That's one thing. But like, if every time I'm walking and I see the same couple in that same corner every day, I'm like, oh my god, please go find a spot somewhere else. Go home, please go home. Some stuff shouldn't be done in public. Yeah, I get it. Like, I really just depends on the excessiveness. I'd say. I wonder if the dumpster couple had a p- p- pa- Pavlo pav, pav, Pavlovian response to the garbage smell. I don't know the Pavlovian responses, but I'm sure maybe they like the smell. Who knows? maybe they like the smell of the dumpster. Maybe dumpster smell just made them happy, you know. It made them wag their tails. And they were like, "Yippee, dumpsters! Whoa!" You know, maybe. What does that mean? I don't know. Should I even Google it? I feel like I shouldn't Google it. I don't. Get a room. Yeah. When it becomes excessive like that, it's like, please go somewhere, please. I'm a different kind of person when it comes to couples. I mean, the most me and Kotaru do in public, we hold hands. We hold hands. I don't think I've ever even kissed him in public. I think I only hold hands with him. Not to say like kissing is bad or like you shouldn't do it in public. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you what I do. I think I only hold hands. I don't think I've ever like done anything else. Just hold hands. Maybe like a little hug here and there. I like hugs. I'm a hug girl. I love hugs. I'm such a physical touch like person. I've always been that way. I've always been that way. I love hugs so much. I like holding hands and hugs. What did I join into? It's hard to explain, but just know that I like hugs and holding hands and cuddles. Yeah. Dietary reaction to stimulus that is paired with naturally occurring. Interesting. Maybe they did have a response to dumpsters. Who knows? Hi, Cupcake. How are you? Hi, Cake. Hi. But yeah, I've always been like a physical touch person. I like hugs. I like it if you're like even just talking to me and you like put your arm on my like shoulder or something. I've always been like that person. I'll stand close to people who I'm like comfortable with, and they be backing up. I be standing too close to people, they be backing up. They be moving away like, oh my god, oh, I gotta move away. Oh, she's standing too close to me. Back up, Cyan, you gotta move back up. Oh my bad, sorry. No dumpster shaming. Oh, but I wanted to. I wanted to. You know what I've been curious about though, low key. Dumpster diving. What kind of stuff do people find when they dumpster dive? What kind of stuff do you find in people's like dumpsters? Like what do people be throwing away that is good enough to find from a dumpster? You see what I'm saying? Like it, because like you're throwing out trash, but I guess some people just throw out stuff that they don't want. So I guess you could find electronics. See, you're not supposed to put electronics in the trash can. Actually, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to take them to like a specific electronics waste place, which is not in like a trash can. I hope people aren't throwing away electronics not supposed to. All the years when you're a bit disappointed, it happens. Meow meow meow. I also have been interested in dumpster diving. What do you find? What do people find? No dumpster shaving, just dumpster asking why. Yeah, no dumpster shaving. Just shame, not shaving. God, no dumpster shaming. Just why? That's all we can do. There is some stickers at least. You can find some stickers from dive-in. Some don't care about recycling. I more care about things exploding because most electronics have batteries in them, and batteries explode if they come into contact with certain things, which is why if it has a battery in it, you don't put it in the trash. And I know people don't care about that. They put it in the trash anyways, but my anxiety is not having that. Like my anxiety would be like, what if it explodes somewhere? What if they put that thing in the dumpster truck and it explodes because there's a battery and you're not supposed to put things with batteries in the trash? Hi, Kevin. I've actually been trying to figure out how to dispose of electronics properly. Like where to go and drop off. A lot of places will take it. Like places like Best Buy, for example. Some Best Buys, like, you can like give them like appliances and certain electronics and they'll like dispose of it for you. So I'm probably gonna do that. One thing I can't for the life of me figure out how to dispose of is a PC. Because you're not technically supposed to put a PC in the trash, right? But at the same time, if the PC is non-functional, most computer places don't want to take it, right? Most computer places will be like, oh no, we only accept like PCs if it works. Okay, so if you have one that doesn't work, you're not supposed to put in the trash. But also, the electronic place, you know, the people who accept other electronics, they don't accept those either. So you can't throw it away. You can't give it to electronics people. You can't give it to computer people. What do you do? What do you do if you have a PC? What am I supposed to do with that? What do you do with that? You can't recycle those. Like, a PC is non-recyclable. Even the electronics facility that's supposed to take in your electronic waste won't accept a PC. What do you do with it? Do you just dissect it and like hit all the pieces with a hammer and then put it in the trash? Like, what? That's one thing I've been trying to figure out, low key. Every time I do research on like proper disposal of a PC, the more I get confused. I'm like, y'all not making sense. So I can't take it here. 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 Who takes it? It can't stay in this house either. Shoot, I'd much rather put that thing on the side of the road. All right, if y'all not gonna take it, it's going up on the floor. You ain't gonna like that either. So like, what do I do? I don't do my electronics, but that's because I want to play with the circuits. Oh, that's true. It'd be easy to learn stuff. Check out Goodwills. Goodwills don't accept PCs either. At least last time I checked. Not my local ones. They don't. Shoot, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have the, because if it doesn't work, they don't want anything that doesn't work. I mean, you technically could probably give it to them and lie and say it works and they'll take it and sell it. But like, I'm not a liar. And the one that we have doesn't work. It's like, my parents left it. It was like the really, really old PC from like 10, 15 years ago. So like, it's kind of, oh man, it was so bad. As a teen, there was a big housing project next to us. We dumpster dived for wood and nails and then made a tree down. Oh, see, that's a fun dumpster dive right there. I guess that would make sense if they're like building something. Yeah. There are daily fires and garbage trucks because people throw away batteries in the garage. And the garbage, yeah, that's what I imagine. That's why, like, I don't want to do that. I'm scared I'm going to blow up the garbage truck. Like, I'm really scared I'm going to throw away something I'm not supposed to. And I'm going to look out the window and see the garbage truck, you know, grab my trash, put it in the thing, and then go, kaboom! That's my biggest fear, bro. I'm scared. I don't want that. So, to avoid that, I'm trying to be good. I'm probably gonna go to Best Buy though. Best Buy takes most electronics. If Goodwill doesn't take it, Best Buys do take electronics. There are some other electronic stores that take certain things too. It's just PCs. Like, nobody takes those unless it's functional. Then I'll be like, sure, I'll take all your PCs if it works. But if it doesn't work, like the one we have, I mean, I haven't tested it yet, but last time we used it, it did have a virus on it. So, like, it works. If it still works, that is, I need to test it. But like, at what cost? I don't know what virus we had on that computer, but literally, if you would open, what happened is, if you open Google Chrome, this is a computer for like 10 to 15 years ago, we couldn't use Google Chrome because if you open Google Chrome on the computer, it would open up a screen and it would say, halt, your Google Chrome tab is in danger, and it would make like a red and white flashing lights and it'd go and it would turn your speakers at max and just go if you open Google Chrome. I don't know what virus my family done put on that computer, but I got jump scared multiple times by that thing. Me when I would forget that we can't use Google Chrome, so we had to use Microsoft Edge at the time. and you click the wrong one, and you get it sounds the alarm on the computer, and you're like, oh god, oh no, ah. There's ways to get rid of a virus safely, especially just replace the hard drive. No, man, I ain't replacing nothing on that thing. Alright, like I said, I'd rather throw that thing on the side of the street. Somebody better take it. Somebody, please. Hey, somebody take this laptop, this computer. I want it. I want it. I want it, please. Looking at call to recycle, they only talk about batteries and small electronics like cell phones. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like trying to get rid of something bigger, or at least my local like recycling thing. They do take bigger electronics. Like they will take like TVs and fridges and stuff. But again, they have a specific section that says we do not take PC. It was PCs and one other electronic that I can't remember the other one was that they don't take. But they'll literally take TVs, fridges, appliances, anything. But God forbid you want to give away a PC. I don't know, man. In my country, we have these huge landfills where you go to, and there's just a spot. You just sort out literally everything. See when workers first like, you can just go to the landfill. I don't know if you could just go to the landfill here. Can we do that? Can I just in America? Can we just go to a landfill? Huh? Huh? I have 4 computers in my closet because I don't know where to take them. Exactly. Where do you... Listen, when I find out where to put them things at, well, I'll give it to you, okay? There are places where they donate your old PCs and they will refurbish them and give them to a needy. Yeah, but a lot of them only accept... I was looking into those. And a lot of them have a policy where they only accept, like, functional ones. Like, if you have a PC that doesn't work, they're like, no, we're not taking that. So, which is weird for me. Concept, because PCs, you can literally just take the parts out and, like, take the good parts, the functional parts out and, like, reuse them. But they're like, no. If your PC is not working, then we're not going to take it. Why? That's a high flame. Why? 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 Because they mean. Hi, Rice. How are you? You can 100% go to landfills in the U.S.? You pay per weight. You can just go to a landfill. Do people do that? Do people just go to landfills? Because, like, you can just put most of your trash in the dumpster and then take it. And even if you got, like, big furniture, you can, like, call people, put it inside the road and call and they'll come get it. Like, certain electronics, if it's a bigger electronics, you can also call and they'll come get it. And if it's, like, other kind of, oh, welcome to the puppy parade, lads. If it's the other kind, then they'll literally just, you had to take it to a specific building, but, like, they'll take that. Okay, so if you can just go to a landfill, why would you go to a landfill? Hi, Kai. Welcome to the puppy parade. Why would you go to a landfill as opposed to, like, just putting your food, your like old nasties in, like, a dumpster, and like your little dumpster bin and, like, put on the side of the road? Like, why? What's the purpose? They have a weigh-in station where you get a ticket and then weigh out as you leave. Google, tell me. Landfills. I'm looking at my area. We have recycling centers. Is that the same thing as a landfill? We only have... I typed in landfills in my city and we only have recycling centers. Is that the same? Are those the same? Because trash companies have rules about what they will accept in household trash. Oh. So I will give a landfill my computers, what you're saying. If you're in the United States, check your state. Most states have a PC refurbish program. Oh. Oh, okay. Trying to figure out how to make science to stream longer. Nah, I've been watching the clock. You know how I am. After that 3-hour mark hits, our time is limited. And we about to hit 3 hours of the stream. Y'all know how I am. I be that dang. Would you look at the time? We 3 hours into stream. Oh, gotta go. Time to skedaddle. Would you look at that? Silicon Valley was getting really strict on throwing away things. You'll get the items shoved back into the trash can and a warning note. Dang, that's crazy. You can't put everything to a regular dumpster, even in a home recycling. You'd be fine. Yeah, They're so strict on rope, but most things you can though. It's like only thing that you can't is stuff with like batteries and stuff. That's the only problem. That's the only problem. I'm gonna skedaddle out to the landfill. Okay, if I go to a landfill, can I climb the landfills? Can I climb the piles of trash? Can I swim in the trash piles? Can I go dumpster dive in a landfill? Can I do what they do in TV shows and like I could get like a little like trash can top or something and then like and then start like skateboarding in the landfill, you know what I mean? Should I? Nice model, thank you. I'm a marching band dog. Wow. I mean, if it hits your theme, okay. I think I'll do a 24-hour stream Thursday. Panda, you're going to 24 hours. I never recommend people doing 24-hour streams because they're not good for you. Most people will do a 24-hour stream and they won't take adequate breaks. They won't go to the bathroom like they should. They won't get sleep like they should. I never recommend doing that. Some people do 12-hour streams. I don't even know if I could recommend a 12-hour stream. I said like 6 hours max. My biggest stream, my longest stream was like I ever done was about 5 hours. But there were days where I probably streamed like I think there was like a day where I probably streamed like maybe like 8 or 9 hours total because I did like a really long like 4 or 5 hour stream, and then I had a collab that same day. So there was like one day where I streamed a long time, but it was broken up, so I had time to like take a nap, get some food and stuff. But like if you don't take a nap and get some food and stuff, then you can't do the stream. No 24-hour streams, no 12-hour streams. Cause y'all crazy. I don't know why people do those long streams either. They're just not healthy. They're really just not healthy. I never recommend those. They're not healthy. You gotta be healthy. You need to get your stream muscles. But you don't get stream muscles from over exercising. You're gonna burn out your muscles, you know? You're gonna burn out your muscles. If you exercise too hard, your muscles explode and they die. And that's gonna happen if you stream for too long. I know a guy who knows a guy who did a 12-hour stream on accident. Interesting. Join while you're still here. Yeah, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Me dropping it in the YouTube chat because they don't have Nightbot over there yet. Love your model, so cute. Thank you, Ari. That sounds exhausting. It is exhausting. Not that I would know. I mean, I've never done that. You ain't gonna catch me streaming for that long. I'm an introvert. At the end of the day, I'm a yapper, but I am an introvert. So I literally would be like, I feel like after like a few hours, I would just be dead silent. Like I'd just be sitting there staring at a wall like this. There's a reason I spread my like streams out so far. Like I'll stream like Monday, then my next stream will be like a Thursday. Like I need time to recharge and to have more things to talk about. Because if I'm like streaming back to back or streaming for 24 hours, what do you even say? What do you even say? Yes, Ari, I do see you. Hi. What do you even say during a 24-hour stream? What do you say? Nothing. Bro, all of my stories would be told out by like 4 hours in, and then after that, what is there left to do? Stare at a wall? Frown? I'm like this the whole time. I'm a frown the whole time. She sees almost every chatter. Yeah, I respond to chat when it's moving at a respondable pace. That is, so there are some days where I have trouble, or I have to do what the bigger Vtubers do and just handpick comments here and there to reply. But that doesn't happen that often, so we're good. I'm still at a point where I could respond to pretty much most people's messages in chat, even if it takes me a little while. Sometimes I scroll up. I do scroll up a lot. I only scroll up so far though. I'm always impressed when people do those long streams. I just think about the behind the scenes. Like, becoming a streamer makes me think about the behind the scenes for stuff like that. Like being on the opposite end, like watching the streams and being like, oh my god, my favorite streamer is doing a 24-hour stream. It's like amazing for you because you're like, wow, I get to spend so much time with my favorite streamer, you know? But like from the streamer's perspective, I'm like, dang. You mean to tell me this person's gotta talk for nonstop for 24 hours? Not only is their throat gonna hurt, they gonna be very like burnt out really quickly. They're probably gonna get burnt out like a few hours in, but have to go for like 12, 18 more hours and be stuck there because they promised a 24-hour stream. And now they probably gonna be tired because they ain't sleep. They probably not taking enough breaks because they're trying to grind, you know, you gotta grind. So they're not gonna be stopping to like eat food like they should or to like go to sleep like they should, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, I think being a streamer makes me think about from the streamer perspective. I actually had somebody I had to reach out to today because I had somebody approach me on my DMs yesterday and they were asking questions about how to become a Vtuber, and I literally I pretty much answer anybody who asks questions about VTubing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be at this computer for a little bit today. I need to go through the second wave of collab corner people, SFW streamers who want to like join like our little collab space that we had. I'm probably gonna sit down and go through because we had like a lot more people apply. Because I posted on YouTube too, so I'm gonna have to go through that probably today. The extra names, either today or tomorrow. It doesn't have today; it'd be definitely tomorrow. Then he explained some people how VTubing works. No, it works. VTubing works. I barely can stream for 2 hours and even 12 hours. No, I could barely stream for like 4. 3 hours is usually my max. Like even right now, I'm starting to get tired. I'm at 3 hours and 6 minutes. The stream will end like soon. Actually, the timing of my streams usually line up with ads because I don't want to end my stream with ads. So I usually be like, oh, well, the 3-hour ad break is coming up, so it's time. Which, as soon as I mentioned it, it happened. Look at that. Ads start in 4 minutes, which means it's time for us to go, guys. There will be karaoke on Wednesday, though. It will only be on Twitch, though, because YouTube's rules are a little stinky, so I will probably only do Twitch karaoke. We're gonna sing I don't know yet. I'm still in the process of compiling like a list of things. Welcome to the Poppy Parade, Holly. I'm still in the process of compiling a long list of things of songs to do. I want to sing like early 2000s I would have seen like early 2000s or like 2010 songs, like the old popular songs from ages ago. You know, I wanted to be a nostalgic karaoke because that's what I've been jamming to lately. I've been jamming to nostalgia, you know. So I want to have a nostalgic karaoke stream. I think that'd be really fun. We're gonna sing old songs like what do I got on my list so far? Oh, some old Selena Gomez songs. I got Miley Cyrus. I got Adele up here. The older songs. There's a few up here that I don't know the words to some of these songs though, so I'm not even sure if I could do it. I've realized while searching for songs to sing, I realized that there's a lot of songs that I don't know the like lyrics of. I just know like the chorus and nothing else. Oh no! Hi Jaku, we're ending stream right now. I'm at my last little spiel. Gangnam Style? You want me to sing that one? I can add that to the list. That one, I mean, that one doesn't require much effort. We're going Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady. Titanium. Dynasty Centuries. Angels with Shotgun. I think on that list of the songs you just gave, I only know Titanium. I am titanium. But again, I don't think I know the words to that. I had to look. Some of the songs I'm like, dang, I only ever heard the chorus. I don't even know what the verses sounds like. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Thank you for staying. Thank you guys for coming and chatting with me and yapping with me and having a fun time with me and hanging out with me and karaoke on Wednesday. Let's see. Who are we gonna raid? Ghostbusters. Oh, one little piranha is streaming. One little piranha was a VTuber that was a big inspiration of mine when I first started streaming. They were somebody I looked up to a lot, and I wanted my channel to be very similar to theirs. So if you're on Twitch, I will take. I'm gonna take you to one little piranha because he's a cool bean. He's mostly been doing music lately. Like he's not like streaming as much now. He's mostly a singer these days. But I think he's doing a singing stream right now, so you get to hear it. Also, welcome to the Puppy Parade, Miffy. Yes, and join the Discord if you haven't joined already. Please join the Discord. I like having people in the Discord because I get to let you know what my next stream is going to be. But also, I'm a yapper, certified yapper. I'm a yapper and I yap every day in there. So I'll be telling all my business in that Discord. So, but like I say at the end of all of my streams, though, sayonara, and I hope you have a good day. Okay, guys. Okay. Make sure you give Piranha. His name's Billy. Make sure you give Billy lots of love. Okay. Alright, guys. Adios. Sayonara. Matane.